And ladies and gentlemen, we are fucking back for us, it's been like a month since we recorded one of these. But it is the To Be Determined podcast. I am your host, Nick Swisher, here with my boys, Samad Terrell, J Foe, and Shaq with a dollar sign.
And
Do
Donald.
not forget that. God help you if you forget the dollar sign, okay? Shaq with a dollar sign. You say it every time like a Tribe Called Quest. Anyway, what the fuck am I talking about? Okay, we're talking some Marvel today because there have been some developments. We all saw Daredevil, Born Again on Disney Plus, and we all saw the Thunderbolts, which I cannot fucking wait to talk about. But first, we're going to get through some Daredevil discussions. Me personally, about when No Way Home came out, I had never seen the whole Daredevil series. So when No Way Home came out and he was in that movie, Matt Murdock, I went back and I marathoned that whole show. And let me tell you, it made Matt Murdock into one of my favorite Marvel characters, probably like top 5.
Oh, yeah.
I had never read a Daredevil comic. I saw the Ben Affleck movie when I was like a kid. I knew very little about this character. But him and Kingpin are such strong characters that they managed to carry this show, this spin-off from the original series, that really has some problems. Has some directorial issues, some editing problems, some plots that kind of meander or don't go anywhere. But these two guys are so fucking strong that you don't care. You know what I mean? Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. I would watch these guys read the phone book. They're so fucking good at acting. You know what I mean? They can make that shit sound dramatic.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
Vanessa!
His
I can't find the number for the plumber.
When I was a boy, my father, drinker, and had too many paintings on the wall.
We're going to get into some more specific details, but before we get into it, I kind of want to go around the table because all of us have seen this, and I want to just get your baseline, one-paragraph thoughts. We'll start with you, Shaq. What'd you think about Daredevil Born Again?
Yeah, my initial watch through, I fucking loved it. Waiting every single week to come out and everything, and I kind of enjoyed the way they dropped it. Like sometimes you'll get 2 episodes, and then so it was really cool to like watch it that way, and it was very exciting. Every episode was like peak at the moment. But then I rewatched it again and realized that like there was just certain nitpick things that I would enjoy elsewhere, but overall it's still like a 9 out of 10. Like it's very like nitpicky of what I don't like. We'll get into it, but other than that, it was watching it. I was like, this is like peak. This is what they should have been doing with the television in the first place in our Disney Plus shows.
Definitely feels more fleshed out than some of the other ones.
Like all their shows and everything. So yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
All right, J-Fo.
When this first started, I had just gotten out of a cold, and I was behind on Daredevil. I never made it around to finishing season 3 because, to be honest, I think season 3 starts off a little bit slow. But once it gets to episode 5, it just goes off with a boom, and it's like one of the best things I've seen Marvel. I know it was by Netflix at the time, but it was like one of the best things I've ever binged. And seeing the end of that and how he just doesn't kill Kingpin, he's like, "I beat you! I beat you!"
Screaming in his face.
It's one of the best things I've ever seen in anything in media, and just seeing it continue, like it was a treat to see that. Like, and thinking back, it's been about almost a month now since it ended, and we were talking earlier before we recorded, and I think it's one of the best MCU shows. Maybe definitely the most mature and definitely the best one in a while. Maybe Loki might be the better show since that like branched out. Here we have, we still got first season of Daredevil here. It was almost reintroducing Daredevil into the MCU, and still like you still got Bullseye and you still see Karen and Foggy, and what happened with that. I definitely, like a lot of us, I think, agree. Should have been more of that, the core. But see, and these new characters, definitely not as good as the old. Although I did like, James Gandolfini's son, um, and there was
Yeah,
another
we'll
character.
get
Yeah,
into
yeah,
him.
but
We'll get into
like
him.
overall, I think it's a good step in the right direction. It's a dark Marvel, and it definitely has its mature rating and the fight scenes that it takes me back to the old show, and Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio like easily carry it. Like when you think something, when you see these other characters, like you are waiting for um, you know, more conflict between Daredevil and Kingpin, but I still think these characters definitely it fleshes out this season pretty well. I do think it could have been longer, but I really enjoyed it for the most part, despite a couple things. So
Okay. And now, Samad, your take I'm interested in because between the four of us, you are the only one who never saw the original Daredevil show. So,
Hmm.
as a person who doesn't have any context going in, how does this show work for you in introducing its characters and keeping you engaged when you don't have that backstory?
First off, I just want to say, as a whole, that first season is pretty fucking dope.
mm,
I did binge the shit out of it. So, like I was telling them before we started filming, like I think it was like episodes like 5 and 6 were kind of just like tired time for me. But then like once I got past that, 7, 8, 9 was just like, oh man, my fucking brain was like. And then like I had to kind of rewatch 8 and 9 because I felt like since I've watched it so fast, I kind of missed details that I really wanted to see again, leading into like probably a little bit of a spoil because we're going to talk about all of this anyway, but like
Mm.
uh fucking Matt saving Kingpin from the shot and shit like that, just oh man,
Peak.
like everything was good. There was a moment that straight pissed me off. I watched the majority of it on my iPad, and like I was ready to throw the fucking iPad across the fucking room. Like nah, I was like emotionally invested, and I think that like having you kind of combine this like tension and rivalry that's kind of obviously already there and kind of like introduces itself during the first couple of episodes
Hmm.
where they're like, I know who you are, you know who I am kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this like, what's gonna happen? Like, is he gonna go back into Daredevil, or like is Kingpin gonna go back into Kingpin first?
Yeah.
So then like once it's almost like
They're
this
playing
race.
chicken. They're
Yeah.
playing chicken. Yeah.
And like that aspect was fucking dope. And then like combining it almost with like a kind of like crime investigation kind of deal too with like Matt's job and shit too. So it's kind of like I don't know. It
I
had
will
like this
say.
really interesting kind of take in shit, and then like the big twist and oh man, I think as just a standalone thing, if you don't have any sort of backing going into it, check it out.
Hmm. I will say, just expanding on one thing you said, the game of chicken that they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
I love the scene where Matt gets the phone call that the girl's been kidnapped, and he just sits there for a second. And he's like, "Fuck it," and he just
Yep.
suits up and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm Daredevil again. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired."
My favorite. You gonna suit up red or you gonna do that in your underwear?
Can I just say, John Bernthal's Punisher has
Oh my
more.
God,
He
yeah,
has more
that's
aura
yeah,
than
that was
any
a treat.
character in the MCU. Man, he's just a guy with a gun. But I believe he's gonna win a fight against any of the Avengers. Like I believe he's pissed off enough. He will get Thor lacking. Like
He's very mad.
he's pissed off enough. He'll win. He's
Oh my god. No,
fucking
that
when the cops all had him tied to the chair and he was like, you look up to me. You think you understand my pain? You think you understand? It's such a good
I love
scene.
Bernthal so much.
But just to give some context to people who haven't seen the show, this is spoilers, by the way. We're just talking about the whole thing.
Mhm.
But this show basically takes place. I don't know where this lines up in the timeline exactly.
Okay.
Like, I don't
Yeah,
know if this
true,
is
true.
before Thunderbolts or after Thunderbolt. I don't know. But Kingpin runs for mayor and he wins. Kingpin is the mayor of New York City, which I would
It's
say
fucking
isn't.
crazy.
I would say doesn't make sense. But we live in a world where the president's a felon, so what the fuck do I know?
It happens all in like the first episode.
Yeah. Literally, this plot is set up in the first episode. You have a scene where Matt Murdock runs into confronts
Bro,
Kingpin
his reaction
at a
to
diner.
finding out that he won too. He's like,
He literally stops everything he's doing. He's just
he
like,
wasn't paying no
freaking-
attention. He was just like not like paying attention to anything she was. It's just,
but Kingpin wins running on a platform that
Okay.
vigilantes are bad for New York and bad
Mhm.
for
you have to do,
society
like a
at
registry
large.
act, that whole deal.
He wants to basically Sokovia Accords this shit like hardcore and make it illegal to even fight crime casually.
And
you know
again,
what I
he
mean?
knows who Daredevil is. Like he knows
He
Matt
wants to
is
do this
Daredevil,
because
and he wants
Daredevil
to-
kicked his fucking teeth in at the
Yep.
end of season 3. That's why he wants to do it.
He got his ass kicked multiple times by vigilantes.
Yeah, no, it's
no.
he got his ass beat by a teenage girl like 6 months ago. He's still pissed about that.
He's tired of these motherfuckers.
2 of them.
Yeah, fucking literally.
Fucking Kate Bishop beat his ass too.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. No, Kingpin's fed up with this shit, so he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna become in charge, and I'm gonna make it illegal to beat up niggas like me. Matt Murdock, meanwhile, is busy defending a vigilante in court. There's this vigilante called the White Tiger who tried to
feel for this man.
stop a beating that was happening in the subway. Turned out the guys he stopped were 2 cops. One of them dies by accident, and now he's on trial for murder.
And also, mind you, he wasn't suited up. He didn't have even like the way his abilities work is that like he has to have on like a medallion that he usually wears while he's suited up. So he didn't even have his abilities activated. So
Yeah, he
like
was a
this
regular guy
all
when this
just
happened.
a straight up accident. I think he literally dodged a fucking cop basically, and he flew in right
Cop
as the
tried
train
to
came.
tackle
Bruh,
him, and the cop fell in front of a train.
Bruh. Straight accident, no ability, so it's not like he had the super advantage besides obviously being the better combatant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, bruh.
But this creates a whole ripple effect where the
Mhm.
fact that he killed a cop causes a bunch of the cops who are now under Kingpin, mind you, to like militarize and to start basically committing civil rights violations and assaulting citizens left and right and doing Punisher shit.
Well, yeah,
Doing
so
Punisher.
they weren't under Kingpin yet. They did it themselves. Like they were a group of cops that liked Kingpin's or not Kingpin's Punisher's
Punisher.
like aura basically.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
yeah.
he does everything. So they were inspired by Punisher. Kingpin was like, all right, I'm about to capitalize over this and basically use these guys as my police force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To give you an example, 2 of these cops try to straight up murder Matt Murdock at the site of where they're like where the key witness was supposed to be. Keep in mind, Matt Murdock publicly is a blind lawyer. He is
Yeah.
a disabled agent of the law. And they try to straight up cap him in the head in the middle of some dude's apartment.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
yeah.
And Matt Murdock beats the ever-loving fuck
that-
out of them because of course he did.
And that's when he
And
like
my
you start
favorite
seeing him
thing
come
about
back.
That, though, is throughout the whole series, the dude's just like, you're blind and really good at fighting.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? He's like,
He never says you're Daredevil. Because they don't know that Daredevil's blind. I keep forgetting.
yeah, no one knows Daredevil is blind, which is funny because
It
for
is
the
funny.
first season he was running around literally blindfolded. So
So it's funny that just like, what is your deal? Like, you're fucking weird.
yeah, he's like, I know something's up with you, but I don't know what. He's like, you're Spider-Man, aren't you? He's like, you're Spider.
Oh, did you guys remember the little Spider-Man reference?
Yeah. It wasn't very subtle. It was
When
when Kingpin talking about him.
Oh,
Uh,
I talked about the Miles Morales.
I think he's
He's
talking about
canon.
Peter Parker.
He's not there yet.
They said.
We ain't getting Miles
Well,
Morales
'cause
till
I guess we don't know
Spider-Man
where this
6.
sits in the
His
timeline.
dad's name,
Yeah.
He said his dad's name. Like,
Well, we met his uncle already, but that doesn't mean Miles is here yet.
Technically, he would probably exist.
He exists, but he's not
But he's not
Spider-Man
like
yet.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
We'll
he's-
see in Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, dude. Miles Morales is like 11 right. He's like 11 right now. He's not doing none of that right now, I promise you. But anyway, back to
But nah.
Daredevil.
It's just cool to see.
Think
This
They
is
got
where
enemies.
you see I've described the plot up to about like episode 3. You know what I'm saying? And from here is where it starts to get a little messy. Because this show went through a lot of rewrites and reshoots, and one of the actors tragically died of cancer in the middle of filming, which caused them to rewrite aspects of his character's plot line. This is
And piss you off.
yeah, literally, because it causes an abrupt like shift partway through the season
Bro.
where the key A plot is Matt Murdock doing this trial with the White Tiger. That's like your main plot for the first couple of episodes. And then this plot, spoiler alert, gets resolved by the White Tiger getting exonerated and then shot in the head in the middle of the street immediately. Like, they just write the character out entirely, and that plot line was essentially a dead end. Like, we wasted a bunch of time on this character who literally disappears immediately from the story forever.
It was just.
It was still part of the fight because it still caused like a little revolution.
To me, it feels like
still...
to me it feels like a narrative dead end because it doesn't lead to anything. It's just like Matt Murdock is sad for a minute about it, and then the plot moves on to the Muse shit.
It's part of his motivation to become Daredevil again because you got to think about.
Hold on, one at a time.
Here, let me. Because they're also trying to make all the vigilantes register and shit right now. So like this is part of the trial. Like this is just one trial out of the bigger picture. You know what I mean? So the fact that they have a vigilante, which also is kind of like a big key point, they were like not supposed to even mention that he was a vigilante during the trial. So like because again, he was not armed up. He didn't have his powers, abilities, or anything. They weren't even supposed to mention that. Matt Murdock ended up kind of adding that in there at the last second.
Yeah, I didn't mention that.
Right. He adds that in there at the last second because, low key, it wasn't going in their favor based off of things that were being said. So he's like, nah. Like, the fucking prosecutors wanting to be like, okay, well, yeah, I'm a good person, but I could do this. And just because you're a good person, you could do bad things.
That prosecutor made such a shitty argument, by the way.
Right. But
that prosecutor fumbled the shit out of that.
And say,
because
you
it's
know
the right
what?
thing to do.
This guy has saved multiple of you. And he had to go there. You know what I mean? In a way, he did it because he kind of had to go there at that point. You know, because this man has saved multiple of you, and I know that for a fact.
That was Foggy's. That's the reason why Foggy got killed.
Exactly. Also, you put all of these things.
I didn't. Hold on. I didn't even mention that.
Like
the inciting incident. The inciting incident of this entire show, I totally skirted by.
Oh yeah. That
fucking
really is.
Daredevil's best friend, Foggy Nelson, probably the fucking second most important character in the Daredevil mythos, gets murdered fucking immediately in this show. I don't know if the dude gets like 5 lines.
Bro, yeah, nah.
Like, it's actually... I couldn't believe they did it so fast.
Yeah,
in the way they do it. Because literally, Bullseye comes out of goddamn nowhere. And just fucking ices Foggy in the middle of the street. And then Matt Murdock throws this nigga off a roof.
He beat the shit out of him first.
Survives. And
I thought for sure he killed him. I thought that was the whole idea. Was he killed him, and that's why he quits being Daredevil.
Yeah, he quits for like a year, but then that's where Born Again comes from. So I get it.
And shit, and she's like, "Oh my god, if that's fucking Matt, and she turns around.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
She's like, oh.
She's like, oh, thank God, it's just Bullseye. Oh, it's just Bullseye. It's just
Yeah.
I'm fucking weak at that. But anyway, now that we've covered that.
Yeah, so like that does definitely help push forward when you think about the whole,
I think
vigilante.
I think that their idea is that after this guy is killed, that's when Matt Murdock starts to go, what's the point of any of this? It's not working.
Yeah.
And that's like soon after he turns back to being Daredevil. I think that's their point. But because of how it's communicated, because of how they're writing this, you don't get enough of that.
You don't get at least let him live for a full episode or something would have been nice for him to die.
Exactly. But
right
like immediately after that,
celebrating
immediately
this nigga,
after that is when Muse shows up, like next
shit.
episode.
Yeah.
And he immediately turns into Daredevil again to deal with that situation, which now's as good a time as any to get into the Muse thing. Now, this character... all of us have varying opinions, okay? I feel like the Muse character, he is a serial killer villain who paints portraits with people's blood and kidnaps people to get their blood. It's a creepy idea. It's a good setup for a character. But what I think is lacking about this guy is that he has basically no relationship to Matt Murdock at all. They don't talk. whenever they see each other, they just start throwing taekwondo kicks at each other. Like there's no talking, there's no like philosophy, there's no like, oh, we are not so different, you and I. There's none of that. There's none of that.
He's going after him for like. Well, he doesn't go after.
I think he's
like,
psychotic. Muse is
initially,
mute. He's mute.
Initially, he's like, he's letting the cops and everybody deal with it. But then the girl gets kidnapped. That's when he decides to.
Well, yeah, but that just means Muse is just a means to an end. He's only here so that Matt Murdock has a reason to turn into Daredevil, but Muse himself doesn't really have a whole lot going on a character level. You know what I'm saying? He's like, my parents made me do martial arts and I hated it, so now I kill people.
Okay.
And
that's
that's quite literally his whole motivation.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
quite.
But that's cool.
Is it? Is it?
Fucking everybody, every serial killer has their quirks. Like, you know what I mean? And that was his. I would have rather that than he like fucking cutting open squirrels. But that's beside the point.
What's
The Muse storyline was good because it was affecting both Daredevil and Kingpin. Where you're looking at it as a Daredevil villain, it was also Kingpin's villain.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I can see it that way.
Kingpin, once they found out that he was painting with blood, Kingpin was using that. Muse was also convincing New York as a whole that Kingpin was the shit.
Yeah.
You're forgetting that.
Right.
I don't really understand that. I don't really.
Because he's dressed as a vigilante.
And Kingpin was like, "Oh fuck, this is blood." Once they find out,
Actually, you know
There
what?
could be more of these.
If I'm gonna give it a little credit, if I'm gonna give it a little credit, they do credit Muse being stopped to the police force, and then that leads to the whole like third act of the story, basically.
Daredevil did not give a fuck about each other.
They both
Daredevil gave a fuck about Kingpin, that's for sure. He was preoccupied.
Why I don't like the series because I'm sick of the Daredevil obsession or Kingpin obsession that Daredevil has. But fucking Kingpin had to get the whole, and then at the ball throughout the finale before he gets shot, he's like, "What are you doing here, Vigilante?" Like, that was fucking fire. Talking across the room while they were dancing, ballroom dancing, and shit, because he knew
and with each other's partners
too, and everything, bro. That was fire while he was ramping up. But yeah, so that's why I appreciate the Muse storyline about that. But that fucking episode in general throughout the whole thing pisses me off. Even Daredevil realizing that his girlfriend is getting kidnapped.
Yeah, honestly, the way that he even got to the ball and shit, all that shit. He was pissed.
You know what else?
Like, wait a second,
you know what
why are
else?
you
Hold
even
on.
getting anything
Before
from
we
this
get
girl?
off of the
Fuck.
before
That
we
shit
get
was
off of the
funny.
Muse thing, before we get off of the Muse thing, I think another problem is that a big crux of that storyline is his therapist girlfriend. This is such a fucking nothing character.
Counselor.
Such a fucking nothing character though. Like,
I've been waiting for him to be so long.
I don't give a
She's
fuck.
a bitch, yeah, and
Here's
she's
the
not
thing.
good for Matt.
If Daredevil's
She's
gonna
not good
be
for
with
Matt.
somebody, he needs to be with either Karen or She-Hulk.
But that's
okay.
not how it works sometimes. I don't know.
I get that Matt Murdock's a hoe. And he just slings dick wherever he can.
Elektra.
But like, that's not what this is. Like, I'm supposed to buy that Matt Murdock's like falling in love with this girl, and at no point do I buy that.
Once he said that this is fake, like he straight up told her, like, this is fake to me. Like, this isn't in my real life.
So at least he realizes at
like,
the end.
Break up. Break up.
You see,
And
can
then
I?
they didn't break up, and I was like, what is going on?
I'm super hazy on the Punisher show. Are Punisher and Karen fucking?
Yeah.
Like, right?
No,
Like
I
currently,
don't
like
think
right
so.
now.
They had a fling.
Did they?
Hot.
I missed that.
Good for
In season
John
one?
Bernthal. All right.
Season 1 of Punisher?
I don't know. I think it was.
I didn't see season
I haven't
2.
seen Punisher in like 5+ years.
Same.
So
I remember being really fucking dark and really like
that prison fight is sick.
Oh, in season 2.
I go back to
Daredevil.
YouTube to watch that shit. That shit is crazy.
That's
how you know a fight is good. I do that with a couple fights in the MCU. The apartment fight in No Way Home, the Titan fight in Infinity War, the fucking music note fight in Multiverse of Madness. There's some really good ones.
Underrated. Gamora versus her sister. when she fucking takes the fucking gun off the jet.
Yeah,
That's a fun one.
That was great. The hallway fight in Guardians 3.
Oh yeah, some old boy shit.
I was arguing with my brother about this the other day. The fucking Shang-Chi boss fight is top 5. It's so fucking good.
It's
When he
good.
takes the jacket off and does that Jackie Chan shit where he swings it around and then uses it to push the dude off of him. That's some real kung fu movie drunken master shit. I fuck with that. You know I'm an anime nerd. I fucks with anything like that. Anything that reminds me of a Jackie Chan movie, I'm in there. Okay?
I feel that.
But little known fact, Jackie Chan has influenced like every fight scene you have ever fucking seen.
Him and Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee especially.
Yeah, literally. Jackie Chan's underrated in that capacity. But I miss Jackie Chan. He used to be in a lot of movies. He's in that Karate Kid movie. I haven't seen that yet.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
They're bringing those
yeah,
universes together.
I'm.
It's supposed to be
I've
like
heard it's not very good.
Really?
From what
I
I've
heard
heard,
it's
like the
supposed to
Rotten
be-
Tomatoes and shit.
I heard it's like what is it? Cobra Kai, the movie. Or
I love Cobra Kai though.
I need to watch season.
I thought it was over. Like,
They're
wasn't
supposed to
season
end
4
it.
supposed to be the last season? All of those kids are like 27 years old now. Like, all of
This new movie was going to be like the new Cobra Kai shit.
that's cool if that's what they want to do. If
Jackie
you can
Chan
pay
Ralph
Jackie
Macchio.
Chan to do a whole fucking show, I bet he's expensive.
I think
Man.
Jackie Chan's at a point where he'll do a TV show now.
Fucking I remember he's the monkey in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
That monkey has 2 lines. I'm not exaggerating. If you watch Kung Fu Panda, he speaks twice. And they paid Jackie Chan to do that. Like,
That is funny.
why?
Right.
We are massively off topic. This is about as off topic as we could possibly be. What the fuck does Kung Fu Panda have to do with anyway? So where we're at, okay, the Muse plotline resolves. Because Muse literally is a client of Matt Murdock's therapist girlfriend. And he's like obsessed with her because she wrote a book.
Yeah.
Catch Her in the Rye type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to like he tries to kill her and like take all her blood. That's what he does.
I thought the way it was shot was like
J-Fo,
freaky.
you feel better about this character than I do. Tell me why you like this character. Because
the
I'm
way
being
they
pretty
shot
negative
that
on it.
shot, like, I mean, I don't. He's not obviously he's not a fully developed character, but I think he was a true threat and brought Kingpin and Daredevil to like an equal, like what Shaq was just talking about. We could have used more of him. He didn't have to be killed like that. But I thought the moment in that scene of just him grabbing the gun, I just thought the way whoever directed that episode did a really good job. And it got me. It reminded me of like just Silence of the Lambs, like. I don't know who's well
Puts the lotion on its skin.
Maybe I was
or
really
else it
fucking
gets the
stoned
hers
watching
again.
it. Who the fuck?
No,
I'm
that's what I
almost-
said about like while I was watching it and everything. It was great. I thought it was peak Marvel. Remember I was saying there's nothing better than Daredevil in the MCU because of like what they were finally showing us and everything. And that scene was fucking scary.
We just
It
came
was
through the
scary. It was
window.
scary.
That-
It was scared. I'll give you that. I was scared. I was 100%. I was 100% convinced that she was dead at the end of that scene. At the end of that.
Yeah.
On Muse as a character, because even Muse in the comics is such a great. He's
Like I said, I've never read a Daredevil comic.
Scary character. Like he's
For a little
fucked up
bit.
and like he's a serial killer that's popular. Like in tags. Like you know what I mean? He's not scared. And he's a creepy character. So seeing that in the first time, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. But I was like, man, why they fucking had to just pow, pow, pow. And then having her survive. We're not.
And now she's gonna be Kingpin's like secretary or some shit.
Which
Yeah,
I didn't.
that's
Which
some
I didn't
fuck
see
shit
that come.
right
Well, hold on. We'll circle back to that when we
That's
talk
some,
about the
like,
end here.
I fucked your
Because we gotta talk.
boss.
We gotta talk about like the end little bit of the show. Okay. Because basically, what ends up happening after the Muse plotline resolves is Kingpin essentially fakes an emergency situation where the power grid of the city goes out so that he can justify fully militarizing his police force to have them basically go out and get rid of any threats to him.
What Batman movie was that again?
Well, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because the way that he's able to pull all this off is he's got this one character that works for him who is played by James Gandolfini's son.
Michael
He's got
Gandolfini.
yeah. He's got this sycophant. This like, I'll do anything for you, man. I'll fucking murder for you.
He's a fun
I'll
He
character.
does a great job with that, though.
Dude, he's so good at it.
I couldn't help but laugh at
I'm not fucking with you. I think that he's the most interesting character in the
I can't
fucking
wait to see
show.
where he
I don't think he's the most interesting, but I think he's like.
Other than like Matt Murdock and Kingpin, I think
yeah.
that he carries pretty hard because it's interesting seeing how it's almost like a Vic and Penguin type relationship between him and Kingpin. If you've seen the Penguin, it's like the Penguin and Vic's relationship where Kingpin is leading this kid deeper and deeper into the darkness, and the kid is so interested in the power that comes with that that he gives into it more and more. You know what I mean? That morality. This dude doesn't have a ton of morality from the beginning, but it just chips away little by little until eventually he's swinging his dick around like he is Kingpin. And he's like
He, like,
threatening
sitting in his
people like he
chair.
has the power. You know what I mean? It's like you can tell that this guy has an idea where he's like, if I can be like that guy, I can be like that guy. You know what I mean? It's really an interesting sort of like spiral into depravity that this guy does, and it's really exemplified through that journalist character that he interacts with, because it's almost like he's like possessive of her. It's almost like he thinks that he can strong arm her into being his, and that's super creepy. And it's a super good motivation for a dude like him who comes off like this, like,
Was she in the room?
you know, he's like a fucking loser. You know, he's like a
So,
Was she in the room at the end with Army?
I don't think
'Cause,
so.
like, I'm gonna spoil alert.
I think the
Before we start
girl.
talking
we're
about
spoiled. I mean, we've already spoiled the entire
No,
show.
Spoiler alert for
This
season
is-
2, because I'm just letting you guys know there won't be a Defenders Army or anything. Like,
You're
Oh, I mean, I knew that. That was.
Army is who's in that fucking room.
Can I just get Luke?
He's gonna
Can-
be like their back source to get through to Kingpin in the back way.
Can I just get Luke Cage back? I don't care about Jessica Jones. I don't care about Iron Fist. Give me Luke Cage.
I'm not
God
saying-
damn it.
I'm not saying cameos won't happen, but I'm saying the people in that room was the Army.
If I can make 2 requests, Marvel, please bring me Luke Cage and bring me Ghost Rider. That's all I need.
Ghost Rider.
What the fuck is the holdup on Ghost Rider? Like, because with Blade and shit, it's like development problems. But with Ghost Rider, there's never been a word about it. They've never even said we're making a Ghost Rider
Little
movie.
side theory, I think Oscar Isaac is busy secretly shooting Star Wars shit as Poe.
That would be cool.
Then he's gonna come back and do Moon Knight shit for the Marvel.
There's been no peep about him. There's been no peep about him in Secret Wars.
There's no reason why like he just hasn't been doing shit because Moon Knight is like Ghost Rider and Moon Knight. Come on.
But anyway. Talking about the very end of this show now, okay? Daredevil teams up with the Punisher because this is before he gathers his army. He's like, I need some kind of backup. Punisher is like the one dude he knows that he can get to fast. Punisher's the reason these cops are wilding the fuck out anyway, so it's kind of his problem. At first, Punisher is like, fuck you. Then Daredevil calls Karen and he's like, yes, my queen. And he's like, yes, my queen.
Well, actually, Karen shows up because
Karen
of
calls
Punisher.
Punisher.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Karen who calls
She
Punisher.
comes out of
Karen-
nowhere
Karen
because
came
Karen
from
was
Daredevil.
mad at
Karen came
Karen
from
was mad at.
Punisher.
Okay.
Yeah, he was mad
Also,
at
yes,
that.
they did do coitus.
they had intercourse. Anyway. So after him and Punisher get together, Punisher goes the fuck off, murders a bunch of these crooked cops, and then the crooked cops capture him, don't kill him, and try to recruit him. And Punisher is like, suck my dick. Like, he's like, get the fuck. How dare you? He's like, it's
wish he
great.
didn't call them clowns like 50 times.
He
but-
called them clowns like 800 times.
but, that was still good.
But Punisher basically gets locked in a cage along with, oh my god, you know what we forgot to talk about? Kingpin's wife fucked another dude. So Kingpin locked this nigga in a cage for like years on end for just to torture him like perpetually. Like
He promised he wouldn't kill
he
him.
promised Vanessa he wouldn't kill the dude. So he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna fucking make his life completely miserable. So he literally locked him in a cage and was feeding him like a hamster, like giving him water and grain every day, like, beating the shit out of him constantly.
Bro, but the way she like,
And then he gives this dude an axe and says, "Fight me. I'll give you an axe to make it fair." Kingpin, when he like decides to be Kingpin again, beats this dude. I don't know how the dude doesn't die.
I
Beats
swear to God.
he still had.
I swear to God.
This dude has the endurance of a fucking super soldier. Like,
Yeah, he didn't even become Kingpin again until he smashed his fucking dude's skull. Because he's still like.
I think it was
not
when-
this particular dude. He smashes the skull of the police commissioner in front of the entire
and they
police
show
force.
the entire
So
face
Vanessa
being ripped
shooting
open
fucking
too.
Vanessa shooting Alex. I was like,
Yeah. Vanessa kills the dude she cheated with, and then Kingpin smashes a dude's head like a fucking walnut.
And then Vanessa has a guy behind the scenes trying to kill Kingpin, and he's eating
No.
dinner, and then thank you, Buck.
No, he wasn't trying to kill. Vanessa didn't send him. He was a problem that was starting to uprise again. Everything was quiet and under portraits and everything. That's how they were doing their criminal business. He was causing uproars and killing people elsewhere because they want to do everything at the port, under seas and everything. So Vanessa and Kingpin sent him to kill Kingpin. Like Vanessa, like was like, "All right, you gotta go." Like sent him, like he's there knowing that Kingpin was gonna pop him. That was together. I thought that too, watching it, but rewatching it, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, because they're still
yeah,
together.
Knowing that
I thought he was gonna kill Vanessa.
Yeah,
Basically, to wrap up before we get to the second half of this discussion, because we do got to get around to Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
When the season wraps up, basically, this is your situation. Punisher has been kidnapped by Kingpin and his police force and is in one of the cages like the dude who cheated. A bunch of people are in these cages. Basically, Kingpin is taking political prisoners out of everyone in the city who disagrees with him.
and this motherfucker held fucking parties just talking to people, and all the people that disagree throughout the series is in this cage.
Yeah, fucking literally. Like, I have no idea how Captain America or some shit has not been called in. But Matt Murdock is essentially like, okay, I gotta deal with this shit. So he's like, I gotta gather an army. And then he gets like a couple people he knew from the bar. He gets like a couple. He doesn't call a single other superhero. He doesn't call Spider-Man, who he represented in court. He doesn't call Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or Iron Fist. He doesn't call Captain America. He doesn't call the New Avengers. He calls Karen and some niggas he drank with a couple years ago.
He doesn't know anything.
He literally does, though. He literally does, though.
He only knows the Defenders.
He knows Spider-Man.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know Spider-Man.
Now he doesn't know. He doesn't know now.
You have sonar.
He doesn't
You have
know now.
sonar. If you need to find Spider-Man, you can find Spider-Man.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know who Spider-Man is because they get all the brain. Because Doctor Strange. changes
He
the
still
spell.
knows. He still knows that he defended Spider-Man in court.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
that's how it works. Every memory that you have of Peter Parker is replaced with a memory of Spider-Man, or else
Yeah, but
it's
Peter
just
Parker
gone.
is Spider-Man. That's what he was defending.
Yeah, he was in
He
in
doesn't
court,
know
and
that
in
all.
court
He doesn't know who
Peter
Peter Parker is now.
He was
Yes, he's gonna
Parker's
re-meet
lawyer.
him.
Vigilante
Hold on,
Spider-Man.
hold on.
Oh wait.
This raises a whole question because I'm like, what things do people remember and what things don't? Because people still know who Spider-Man is.
Yeah, but
Yes.
he was defending.
But they don't know
That
who
was
Peter
because
Parker
they
is.
found
But
out.
Matt
he was
Murdock
Peter-
has met Spider-Man, though.
No,
No,
he met
he
Peter
went-
Parker.
he-
He hasn't
he-
met Spider-Man. He met Peter Parker
He never
because
seen Peter Parker put on
because
a
it was
mask
against
of
Spider-Man.
Let
getting-
me ask you a
killing-
question. Let me ask you a question.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me
So
a-
he knows
Hold on,
Peter Parker's
hold on.
Spider-Man.
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
He
Does
doesn't know
okay,
who
Doctor
Spider-Man is.
Strange cast the fucking spell.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
knows Peter Parker's Spider-Man. I don't care what
Doctor
anybody
Strange
says.
knows,
He's-
obviously. Well, no, now he doesn't.
Well, not only that, not only that. Okay,
No one
think
knows
about
who
this.
Peter Parker
Think about
is.
Far From Home for a second. Think about Far From Home for a second, okay? People like Ned and Flash and MJ remember that they were in Europe and got attacked by a bunch of drones and that fucking Spider-Man was there, right? They can't have forgotten that. There's footage of it. It was a news story.
They know what
It was a
Spider-Man is. They know Spider-Man. They don't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Therefore, Matt Murdock does not
So I
know who
guess
Spider-Man is.
Man.
Or Daredevil.
The relationship is just not there anymore.
It's not there. Yeah, it's gone.
It's
The
been-
memories are wiped.
It's been
dude.
too long since we've seen Spider-Man, and
is
we
not-
need clarity
Daredevil's
on
not
this.
going to show up in Spider-Man next year. There's a whole thing with.
No, I know Spider-Man for legal reasons cannot show up in
This is
fucking
fucking
Daredevil,
Sony.
but I'm like, logistically, there are
Daredevil
questions
show up in
here.
Spider-Man though, because did you know that Spider-Man?
Kingpin knows Spider-Man,
Do you know in the-
obviously.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah,
Kingpin,
Kingpin.
literally, that's my thing. Kingpin
And
literally
bringing 'em up
mentions
during
Spider-Man.
during
Yeah,
Daredevil.
Okay.
Daredevil knows who Spider-Man is, but he doesn't know that Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
I know that.
That's what I've been
But
trying
I'm
to
saying,
say
does
this-
he literally not have any memory of interacting with Spider-Man at all?
No, because he didn't defend that whole thing.
But then why would he bring him up?
They don't want anyone
Okay.
knowing that he's Spider-Man. That was the whole spell
MJ
at the end of-
literally interacted with Peter both as Spider-Man and
But
as
afterwards,
Peter.
he's-
So
he
does
doesn't
she
know
not
who
have
Peter
any
is.
memory of interacting with a Spider-Man of any kind?
No. She doesn't know
no, she-
Peter.
How-
Remember at the end of No Way Home?
Yeah.
she
You know
has
how
no
many
idea who
massive
that is.
gaps in her
This
memory
is-
there would
She has
be?
no idea who that guy is.
This wasn't.
She
at the
literally
end of
would not remember
Spider-Man.
months of her life.
Do you remember
She
the end of No
liter-
Way Home? She has no
Yeah,
fucking idea who
because
that guy is.
How would she
I
know?
mean,
Peter goes.
But-
That's why
Why
everyone's
was she like-
sad at the end because Peter is crying.
What the fuck did I do
No,
when
wait,
I was in
thought she
Italy?
didn't know- I
Like,
thought they didn't
that's
know
where
who
I would
Peter
be.
Parker was.
They did that whole memory's just not there. It's just all those.
Yeah,
They-
wait.
Spider-Man
No,
4 has
no,
so
wait,
much
wait.
shit to
I
Yeah,
answer.
thought
they
it was
have
just
to
not knowing
answer a
who
lot.
Peter Parker was, right?
Zendaya's in it.
Does he still have a social security number? Does he still have an ID?
He-
Does he? How does he have an apartment if he has no
got-
record of
I don't
existing
know.
at all?
It's also not extremely realistic because it's also a comic book.
Is he like an illegal immigrant? Is it like he has no?
He still,
Is he
no,
like?
He just erased the memory of Peter Parker. Peter
Parker
is
being
still
Spider-Man.
throughout
Spider-Man-
stuff is still Peter
So it's like he
So
still has his
why
high
don't
school
they have
diploma,
their
but
memories of Spider-Man if they were
Parker.
only
They just
supposed
don't
to
know who
forget
When
Peter.
they see Peter Parker, they can't put a name to the face. Is what it is.
They
Brother, hold
erased
on.
the part of
Peter Parker-
Spider-Man.
okay, hold on. How about this one? How about this one? How about this
get
one? Okay,
that,
Peter
but-
Quill. Peter Quill fought Thanos alongside Spider-Man on Titan.
Spider-Man,
Does he
yes.
not fucking remember who Spider-Man is?
He knows.
I
He
think
knows
he
who's
just
Spider-Man,
knows that
he
there's
doesn't
a
know
dude
that
in a
his name's
suit.
Peter
But he
Parker.
saw him with the mask off. He
But
knows
he
who
doesn't
Peter
know his
Parker
name. He
is.
doesn't know his
He doesn't know
name's
who that
Peter
is.
Parker.
That's
Then
just
why
still-
isn't that
no,
how it
okay,
works
wait,
for
wait,
Matt
wait.
Murdock?
Okay,
He looks
so
at his
that's
face.
just still
His
Spider-Man
memory-
That's a
because
whole
he's seen him
other-
with his
that's-
face. He doesn't
that's
know
a
a Peter
writing
Parker. He
thing.
doesn't know
He
an
doesn't know that's
identity.
Peter Parker.
Yeah,
So,
we haven't seen
regardless,
Tom
that's
Holland
just like
since
seeing-
2021. Like, there's a lot of shit that they haven't explained
That's
yet.
like seeing
But that's
super.
like-
well,
no
okay,
one
well, no,
knows that
'cause
Peter
you
Parker's
know who
Spider-Man
fuck
now
Kid is.
because
But, like-
Spider-Man's
Hold on, we are
screen.
all tucking over each other.
Right.
Hold on.
So, like, if you know Batman, but you have, say, Bruce Wayne isn't some fucking billionaire that everyone knows his goddamn face, and you see him take off his mask mid-battle, you're like, oh, wow, who's that guy? This is Batman, but you have no identity to tie it to. Now, if you see the same thing as Spider-Man, and you just have no memories of any nigga named Peter Parker, and nothing to tie it to,
Yeah.
and his
Also
mask
Bruce
is
Wayne.
fucked up,
What about Toby
you're
and
like,
Andrew?
oh,
Did they
this
forget
is
him?
still
Did they
Spider-Man.
Did Toby and Andrew forget him? Did Toby and
No,
weren't
They
together.
probably
they went back to
just-
their worlds.
Right, and they
probably-
were there like during events
This
and
is
shit, right?
so.
like,
This is
they
so
probably won't-
fucking confusing. This
Wait,
is-
no, wait.
So
they
multiverse
technically
shit's
shouldn't
fucking-
remember.
I
Wait,
watched No Way
was
Home
that
with
spell
Spencer.
done
What was?
before?
Hold
or
on, hold on.
after they left?
What did the spell specifically say? Did it
The
say?
other two
Did it
Spider-Men.
say
Was that
everyone
spell-
on
Yeah, as soon
Earth
as the
forgets
spell
him?
went, like, they,
Did
like,
it say
waved goodbye
everyone in
and
the
they went
universe
to their
forgets him?
own
What did they
world.
say?
So technically, they shouldn't know either, then, right?
Hold on, wait. This is my question. Hold on, this is my question.
They probably don't know either. They
Hold
probably
on.
don't
They
know.
Lock
probably
in.
forgot the whole
Secret
experience.
Wars.
Lock in.
That
This is
movie
my
ain't even
question.
canon, Loki.
Lock in. This is my question. What did the spell say specifically? Did it say everyone on Earth forgets him? Everyone in the universe forgets him?
It had to
Everyone
undo the
who's
fact that
ever-
literally everyone in every dimension was coming after this one nigga.
And that the
So-
Mysterio thing is deleted.
Throughout everything.
Exactly. So that means that movie doesn't fucking matter.
Far From Home doesn't matter now. Yeah, good, because it
Dude,
sucks.
come
anyway.
on now.
Did the whole movie. None of these
Anyway.
Spider-Men are gonna remember each other. then.
Anyway.
Yeah, because they go back. That's what they said. They go back into the moment that they left. But I bet, like I
Bruh.
said, the fact that Doctor Strange is
God
who
damn it.
Doctor Strange is, I
Does Multiverse of Madness take place before
After.
or after?
After.
I'm pretty sure that's
After.
after because it's low key him fixing the whole fact that all that shit.
Because they
even
don't
happened.
mention this shit at all.
They
in
did.
that
It was very briefly at the very beginning.
of Multiverse.
I ain't seen that movie since it was in theaters.
Yeah, same.
Vlogging and everything.
Anyway, we really got to get back on track. Let's
So,
talk some Thunderbolts.
well,
Daredevil
let's
equals good, has some problems, but we like it.
Yeah,
Has some
I
problems.
think I'm excited for season 2.
I think season 2 will be better.
it will, and I think this was a good start.
Because it's going to
I'm
be
gonna watch
full
season
blown
1 again
Daredevil
right
versus
before
Kingpin
season
the
two.
whole
It's just,
time.
That shit was
I
good.
think all the monologues that Murdock made, like Charlie Cox should get nominated. It's just good to see him be Daredevil.
I think he's one of those Pantheon castings like Willem Dafoe
Yeah.
and Hugh
It's a
Jackman.
perfect fit.
he's
Yes.
so
perfect.
good, and I really do hope we see him in the movies. Like I do want to see him in Spider-Man 4, and I hope like
I'm not
they
holding my
interact.
breath.
But I don't think he'll remember that he defended
That's what I was about to say
him in
about
court.
Spider-Man's
I don't think
contract,
he
though. A Marvel character has to be in a Spider-Man movie. So
Always?
Always, no matter what. That's
All right, so just throw fucking Daredevil in
That's
there.
why there's been a Marvel character always in a Spider-Man movies, because there always has to be a.
Who's in fucking
Tony Stark?
Craven and Morbius? Oh.
Not the spin-off ones, the Spider-Man movies.
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man,
No Way
yeah.
Home, Homecoming.
But anyway, I want to talk about the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts is a very good movie.
The Thunderbolt.
It was my soccer team when I was a child. There was a little girl who took a poop at the halfway mark of the field. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm done. Couple notes. You have some notes, and I'm gonna let you kind of take the reins on the first half of this. But what I want to say before anything, 4 things. Florence Pugh, I love you. Will you marry me? Bob, you are my spirit animal. U.S. agent, you are exonerated of all your sins. Taskmaster, I'm sorry. Taskmaster.
One of the most useless characters used, and sucks. 'cause
Shaq,
Taskmaster-
go ahead, and I want you to, you know what?
Yeah, I'm
Pour
gonna
out
just
your
sit
heart
back
about
and
this
get
movie. How do you
comfy.
feel about
I did not
Thunderbolts?
see Thunderbolts.
I
So,
didn't see
Samad is
I'll
back.
put that out there, and
Samad
I
is
am
back
just
in the bitch
listening.
seat. He has not.
Not the bitch.
He has not seen the movie, so shame him.
Definitely check it out. Anyway,
So-
Shaq.
No, I'm gonna start it off by saying, who do you guys think is the strongest super soldier?
Steve Rogers.
Okay, let me tell you why Thunderbolts tells you that that's wrong.
I don't care what Thunderbolt says. I don't care what
This nigga stood 2 feet planted and jumped straight up into blackness and then fell back down onto the ground.
Jesus.
When Steve Rogers can barely jump from building to building. The reason why I said
Steve
that.
Rogers, though, has
who's
aura
Yeah. No, I said
and
strongest.
willpower and
Strongest.
willpower.
You talking about Sentry?
Huh?
You talking about Sentry?
Sentry would be the strongest.
Talk to me when U.S. Agent holds back Thanos with an Infinity Gauntlet.
But
Talk.
Yeah, U.S.
no, I'm
Agent.
talking about U.S. Agent. When
Bucky
when they're
was
trying
the
to get.
strongest super soldier in that movie.
It's definitely not Red Guardian.
All right,
It's
so all right, so here you go. Hold this. I'm gonna let you take back over.
You good.
But the reason why I'm bringing this up first is because it's crazy. The reason why I like Thunderbolts so much is because it ties back throughout everything else that we had to. Like, it is the most connectivity movie that we have so far.
Definitely that we've had post Endgame.
It makes you feel excited for what's coming next.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like so many like
Rewarded for knowing what came before.
all right, so like, and that's why I started with the super soldier serum. That is day one of like where we were with that's the Hulk, and then the Hulk super soldier. Or they took the Hulk serum, made Captain America, because you know.
Let me give you.
No, that did that backwards.
Let me give you a quick rundown.
Captain America's super soldier serum made Hulk.
Let me give you a
Yeah,
quick
yeah.
rundown in order.
Hulks.
This is everyone who
Right.
gets. I looked this up in order. This is everyone who gets a super
No.
soldier serum. Okay.
Donald.
Steve Rogers, Isaiah Bradley, Red Guardian, Red Skull,
Red Skull.
U.S. agent Carly Montague, her number 2 guy, Hulk, Red Hulk, leader in his brain, and I believe that's it. Oh, Bucky.
Bucky.
Bucky's the
Yeah.
other one. That's everybody. So there's 11 super soldiers in the fucking MCU at this point.
Isaiah Bradley.
I said Isaiah Bradley.
Sorry.
He was like the second guy to get it. He
The
was like,
reason why I say he's the strongest is because he was the only one out of all those to not take an experimental super soldier serum. He took the perfect government form of a super soldier serum at peak. He beat
which guy?
U.S. agent.
He was in better condition when he took it than Steve was.
Yeah, U.S. agent
Yeah.
beat super soldiers in the army and then took the serum. So we're about to see this motherfucker do some crazy shit. Like he's like I said, I hope they do. That's why I started with this. I hope they fucking explore that because it's interesting and technically Bucky's the weakest is because he's a Hydra spinoff.
I don't know, because
No,
Bucky
Bucky's
was
really
kind of kicking
strong.
Steve's ass in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Because he has a fucking
Yeah, but
That's
he's
not
also
the
a
only
super
reason
soldier
why.
serum.
He was,
super
he was
soldier
kicking his
serum.
ass in the knife fight. He was kicking his ass all through the highway. He needed Black Widow to save his life. He didn't.
Fucking in this
Steve
movie,
Rogers-
his
Steve
entrance.
Rogers is technically the weakest super soldier.
Now hold on.
Uh,
Now hold. He's kicking Carly's
Red
ass.
Guardian.
He's kicking Carly's ass.
Red
He's
Guardian.
kicking Red Guardian's ass.
Carly was I'm taking this because I want to be strong type shit.
No, wait.
Are you talking
did
about?
say
I'm not talking
you did
about-
Red
say Steve
Guardian
was
is
the
like
strongest,
fucking
and
Worf
then
from
he
Star
got
Trek,
rid of
okay?
it.
He's
Got
just
his
jobbing
ass
out
kicked
to
multiple
everybody.
times. That is funny.
Oh yeah. All right. Anyways.
Anyway,
I wanna
just
see
a
what they
real,
do with him.
just to reel this back around
Yeah.
to the movie itself, okay? It's been a while since I had an MCU movie that like affected me emotionally. That wasn't like a Guardians movie. You know what I'm saying? There are only 3 Marvel movies ever that have made me cry. And that's Guardians 1, Guardians 3, and the Thunderbolts. I did not
Endgame.
Fuck no.
Oh man, I was fucking.
I
There
didn't
was a
like Endgame
waterfall
like
in that
I didn't
theater
li-
that year, man.
I didn't like Endgame like that.
Ooh, I love fucking. Still
But
love it.
when it comes to Thunderbolts, I think the reason this movie works so good is because it's not built around. It has all of those things that you talked about, the interconnectivity, paying off being a person who's kept up with this stuff. But that's not what the movie's about. The movie is about its themes. The movie is about its characters. The movie is about the concept of the void and how to get out of that empty blackness feeling that a lot of fucking people have. You know what I mean? It's a thing where this movie communicates this idea that's a pretty simple idea when you think about it. Like, they're not rewriting the fucking textbook on how to make a movie here. But they just handle it so well. I can't remember the last time I saw one of these movies that was filmed like this, that used lighting to its advantage, that used color to its advantage, where every stunt felt practical and felt real and tangible. A movie where every character felt necessary except Taskmaster. A movie where the villains are fully understandable without seeming like they're pushing to make them relatable or like, oh, the villain is right. You can debate whether or not this villain has a point. You can debate whether or not this villain is in the right. But this villain does fucked up shit and you don't want her to succeed. These characters are not great people, but they're relatable people. They're people you care about. They're people who, even if you don't have the context of the shows or the movies that they come from, you can connect with simply because they're charismatic and they're likable and they bounce off of each other so well. If you're a person who hasn't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you can still get into U.S. Agent. You can still understand where he comes from. You can still understand what makes this character tick. You know what I mean?
That's why Taskmaster got shot in the head, by the way. That's the knife scene. That's the importance of the knife scene that I was going to talk about later. Because Taskmaster has a good point because she doesn't have that. She was literally under mind control the whole time.
Yeah, she's not a character you can really flush out in the same way.
She's such a she doesn't have anything anchoring her to what she does. She was literally doing it to get there. So that's why she sidelined herself. Everybody else was so focused on knives flying around, she got shot in the foot.
Yeah, she was.
We'll
going for
talk more. We'll
Skywalker.
talk more about the Taskmaster stuff later on.
I
But
didn't want to
first,
sideline you.
oh
I'm
yeah,
just
oh yeah,
saying-
no, you good. But I'm just saying, I want to flush out like the way I feel about this movie a little bit more, because really, I can't remember the last time I related to an MCU character like Yelena, because Yelena I feel is like universally relatable because she's a person who, like Bob in this movie, is defined by that void feeling inside, except unlike Bob, hers is not physically tangible. You know what I'm saying?
She named the void. That's sick.
Exactly. It's her concept. You know what I mean?
She named the void with her own pain. Yeah, somebody it's Bob's void, but she put that. She was like, he was like, the void. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Like,
Yelena is one of those characters where the other two things that she's been in, Black Widow and Hawkeye, not exactly peak MCU.
I like Hawkeye.
I like Hawkeye too, but it's not the best shit we've ever gotten out of the MCU.
Uh,
But every scene that she is in is fucking
No,
electric.
yeah, absolutely.
She has the kind of charisma and talent and energy to be the leading face of the MCU the way that RDJ was. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's been a big problem with the MCU is they do not have a Steve Rogers and a Tony Stark anymore. And they've been fumbling trying to find somebody else who can lead this shit. Florence Pugh is the person who can lead this shit.
I think Anthony Mackie and Florence Pugh.
Anthony Mackie, Florence Pugh, Pedro Pascal. That's your guys.
Going on, that's perfect. Good job.
Yeah.
And they're all
yeah.
big superstars right now too. It's perfect. It's perfect, like timing.
Yep.
With Pedro being in everything, including Gatorade commercial, then
Florence
the,
being
the
in
Last
Dune
of Us
and
season 2, or at least half of it, if you guys haven't played the game. But anyway, bring on Fantastic Four.
oh yeah, I'm fucking ready
We'll
for it.
talk about that 'cause
Anyway,
it's the end credit scene, that'll be our break.
Oh yeah. But something I think is interesting is when you start this movie, you have an opening sequence with Yelena, lasts about 10 minutes. And then basically immediately you go into this vault. Something I think is interesting is the directors and writers of this movie said that they played around with the concept of the entire movie taking place within that vault, within like it just being an escape movie where all of these characters are put in this place together because they're supposed to kill each other, but they figure out what's going on and then all try to escape together through like an escalating series of events. But they didn't keep that idea. But the first like 20, 30 minutes of the movie is in this vault. You can kind of see how the movie would have worked out that way, how that was an initial concept.
That's pretty interesting.
Because a huge amount of the development that you get for these characters happens inside this vault. Like, if you don't know who U.S. Agent is already, that sequence in the vault is gonna tell you everything you need to know about the guy. You know what I'm saying? Bob is introduced, Bob the Sentry, is introduced in this vault, and immediately you're taken with the guy. Immediately this character sucks you in because you're just curious about where did this guy come from. His energy is so fucking weird. What is this guy's deal? You know what I'm saying? And the characters feel the same way. You know what I mean? And it's funny seeing how they bounce off of each other. That's always what made the original Avengers, like the original 6 Avengers, work.
Right.
Is each of them bounced off of each other in a weird way.
He's like, he's supposed to be the new Captain America. He's an asshole.
yeah.
that was great.
fucking
I'm glad they
hilarious.
said that because I did not like him in Falcon Winter Soldier, and I guess they were supposed to do that. Like, you're not
It's
supposed to
like a
him.
redemption arc.
So here was like, I mean, and I love Wyatt Russell. I've seen him in other things, but man, I did not like him in the show.
He's in the best
But he-
episode of Black Mirror.
Oh yeah. Which one's that?
There's this episode where he gets this
Oh.
fucking 3D visual.
Oh, does he have, like,
implant
long
his brain.
hair in it?
He has long hair.
Yeah.
And basically, he gets this implant where it's like you're gonna play this super realistic horror game where this chip goes into your brain and takes all your subconscious fears and puts them in front of you.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And by the end, he's completely lost his fucking mind. It's so fucked up. I couldn't sleep after I fucking watched that episode of Black Mirror. So Wyatt Russell's a
Yeah.
beast. I already knew he was a beast before he was even in that show.
So good.
But I can't remember
But yeah, when the Sentry, like when you get to know Sentry or Bob, when he touches everyone, that's when you see the negatives in all these people's lives, and I'm
To
glad
des-
they did that because you get to see that.
to
side.
describe this to you, it's basically like if you were to like grab Bob's hand, you would be sucked into something called a shame room, where basically whatever your worst memory, the worst thing you ever did, or like your biggest like regret is, will just you'll be in a fucking flashback that you can't escape. You're stuck there and it will play on a loop in front of you.
Oh God.
Yeah. It basically takes you to hell for a second. And Yelena experiences this first, and then U.S. Agent
How long
experiences
does
this.
like the experience last?
Yeah.
I
Well, they
guess, like,
snap out-
inside and outside.
Initially, they snap out of it pretty quick.
Right, but like in their head, they played through it for like
No,
a while.
it was like one
It's in
scene,
real time.
and then
Okay.
It's
they
in
wake
real
up
time.
like, oh my gosh, like you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And Bob sees whatever you're saying.
Yeah,
And Bob,
downstairs too.
yeah, so he'll know what your
like Bob, yeah.
But long story short, Yelena is sent to this vault with the intention to kill Ghost. Ghost is sent there to kill Taskmaster. Taskmaster is sent there to kill U.S. Agent, and U.S. Agent is there to kill Yelena.
So if everything
When it-
actually goes right,
When they
everyone
all
should die.
fight, when they all fight, Ghost manages to kill Taskmaster. Bob comes out, and then when Bob comes out, they're all like, "Oh, wait a minute, fuck."
How'd you get in here?
Yeah. They realize that shit is like not how Val, the lady they're working for who sent them there, said it would be. You know what I mean? And so they all team up and try to escape this vault together before the shit blows up.
Yeah, and the character development for Yelena there, she picked up this task. She was about to quit and everything because she wants more. She wants to be like Natasha. She wants to be able to
Fucking Red Guardian talks her out of it.
yeah, and she's like,
Like,
all right, I want if I go do this for you, like I want some head, not head.
I want some head. She wants some spotlight.
Yeah. So yeah, so
shit.
so that's the whole reason why she's there in the first place too. And then like the contingency plan, if they all survive, they're all getting incinerated. Like Val already knew that too. Like if if they were to fucking not kill each other, she was gonna torch the whole place anyway. Then
But anyway, as they're escaping, you know, Bob and Yelena making some puppy dog eyes at each other a little bit. There's some chemistry there. Yelena's like, you know, everybody feels bad sometimes. They're talking through their problems together. You know, she relays the concept of the void to him, and he's like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, the new Natasha and Hulk.
Yeah. It's a very Black Widow and Hulk kind of situation where it's like he's damaged and emotionally fucked up, but she can calm him down.
Right.
I did math. No, he said I was on math.
That was out of nowhere. That's the first time I've ever heard.
Oh my god, that was so
Heard
funny
drugs
when
be
they
involved in
almost
Marvel.
leave the vault and U.S. Agent is like, oh, and by the way, I was the fucking quarterback in my high school, won 3 championships, and she tells her soccer team story, and then Bob's like, yeah, I did meth and I spun a sign for a chicken shop. I'm weak at how open he was about it. But
Oh shit.
they managed.
Get their ass beat by the fucking chicken in the costume while they're in the void.
Oh my god.
That's when he screams something. He was like,
I was on meth.
I was on meth.
Chicken. Hey, is that Goshen, Ohio?
But they managed to escape from the vault. They managed to escape from the vault finally because Bob creates a distraction. And then he gets fucking lit up by a firing squad. They all shoot him like 100 times. And he realizes, oh shit, I'm bulletproof.
Dude, one of the things that nobody noticed, when they shot him out of the sky, did you see that he turned into the void? That was like the first time he turns into the void.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, like, and nobody talks about that at all. It's literally he turns into the void before he smacks to the ground. Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, but basically, all of these people who were sent to this vault are working for a woman named Val, who is the Secretary of Defense or the head of the CIA or some shit like that. And she's being investigated because she's hella fucking corrupt and is making super
Yeah,
weapons
sounds
and
like it.
experimenting on people.
They're trying to impeach her.
Yeah. And so she sent all of these people to kill each other because they are evidence against her in this impeachment trial that she's doing.
Before sending Yelena to go destroy
Bucky, the Winter Soldier, is one of the people investigating her in this impeachment trial.
fucking Congress.
He's also a congressman. or I
Fucking that
guess-
makes no sense. This nigga killed JFK.
Right.
He literally shot John F. Kennedy in the head
Yeah.
and is a sitting congressman for Brooklyn.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Kingpin's the mayor of New York.
New York is fucked. Oh my
fucked right
god.
now.
I want to know how the fuck. I would not live.
Who is voting?
Why are you living in New York?
Move!
Those random
Move to
videos they showed on
Nebraska.
Daredevil, like,
You had
were
fucking
like,
the Avengers
Kingpin,
there.
yeah, he's doing
That's
something.
another reason why I fuck with this movie
Bruh.
heavy. They fought in the exact same spot
That Tony fought Loki.
So you know how like the Avengers was all
Oh, yeah,
bright?
that's
They were on
right.
top of the bridge. This movie was darker and they're underneath.
We'll
the
talk
same
more
bridge.
about this later, but when Sentry fucking throws Red Guardian out the window and then
Yeah.
pulls him back with the
Yeah.
fucking force and then pull. But anyway, Val sent all of them here to kill each other. That failed. But it works out for her because Bob survives this firing squad and he is revealed to be the Sentry. Her biggest project, her big thing that she wanted to do was make the world's perfect superhero who was stronger than all of the Avengers put together. And
All of
Bob
them put together.
was a dude who was on meth and in Thailand and signed up for this medical study, got a bunch of drugs injected into him. They thought he died, so they put him in this vault with the rest of the fucking trash. He woke up by coincidence when all of them were fighting. And turns out, hey, the Sentry shit worked. He just died for a minute and now he's fine.
Dang.
Yeah. So Val is like, fuck all this impeachment shit. I'm putting all of my cards, all of my chips into this Sentry shit.
Right.
And so she, after Bob passes out, takes him back to her base, which is the new Avengers Tower. She bought Avengers Tower and now it's hers. She brings Bob there and manages to sort of like gaslight him into being like, I'm the only one who understands you. I know everything about you. You're my guy. I believe in you. Be the Sentry for me. And so he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking meth head who just wants validation.
Dude,
So
when he was fucking having his Homelander moment, when he was like, "Wait a minute, you say that I'm the strongest Avenger."
hold off on that because we're going to talk about that when we get to the whole Sentry scene. But essentially, he buys into this shit completely, starts wearing like the outfit that she had a lab of people make for him and dyes his hair blonde to make her happy.
Comic
he's just-
accuracy.
He's doing whatever Val asks him to.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the new Avengers get captured of the Thunderbolts
Spoiler alert.
get kidnapped by Bucky. Bucky wants to capture them all so they can be evidence in this impeachment trial. But then he gets a tip about this Sentry thing from his informant. And so he says, fuck it. All of you guys come with me. We're going to go fight this Sentry thing. They go there and get their ass beat worse than anyone has ever gotten their ass beat in the entire MCU. Literally, they do zero
He
damage.
almost stood at one point and beat their ass.
Like,
stood
literally,
up.
he barely fucking moves.
Damn.
There's a point
He pulled a
where the
whole
Red
two on
Guardian
that.
has him in a headlock. The Red Guardian has him in a headlock and is just stabbing him. He's just stabbing him over and over again, and his knife just fucking breaks.
Yeah, bro, when fucking Bucky is going hand to hand with him, and then everything, and then he like goes out to the side right before Bucky shoots him in the head, was so smooth. Like Superman doesn't even move that smooth. Like this motherfucker was in one point, zoom to the side, and then came right back.
Yelena jumps on his back, and he just flies into the roof and then goes he just, like literally he's doing the most nonchalant ass beating I've ever seen in my life. It's like it's Beerus level casual. Like he's just like no one even comes close to doing damage. There's a point where John Walker just starts fucking shooting him, and then he heats the gun up with his brain, and the dude goes, ah!
He fucking rips Bucky Barnes. He ripped Bucky's arm off and beat his ass with it.
Literally, like fucking Woody in Toy Story. He takes his arm off and slaps him with it. It's crazy, dog. It's so crazy. And literally,
the same
he could.
arm that stopped the tank.
And Val is like,
One fisted into the ground.
Val
seconds
is
later.
Val is like, okay, kill them all. And Sentry's like, they're not a threat to me. Why do I have to?
Say that one,
That's
girl.
why they're still
And then
alive.
she's like, you have to listen to me. And he's like, why? He's like, what? And then he starts having.
I'm starting to feel like you're not a threat to me either.
He's starting to have a bit of a god complex moment. And he's like, you said I'm a god. You said I'm stronger than all the Avengers.
And
Thor's an Avenger. And he's a god, so I must be stronger than a god. And so Val tries to, like, hit the kill switch on him that she had built in. That shit does not work.
Aw, damn.
That nigga turns into the void. And he starts, like, doing this.
Hiroshima.
And whoever he points this hand at, just... They're a shadow on the ground now.
Oh, shit.
It's like some
What
heartless
he's doing
shit.
is he's sending them into the void, but what it looks like is like he just fucking disintegrated somebody right in front of you.
That's the peak of fucking Yelena as a character too. Just like her sister, she wants to be just like her sister. She sacrificed herself. We the whole time we think they're dying. Like oh my god, talk about the Red Guardian scene.
Hold on.
That's the better scene, and then her going into the
Before he comes out and starts doing his whole void shit, there's a scene where all of the Thunderbolts leave from where they just got their ass beat, and they're all like arguing with. Well, first off, they're arguing with each other, and Yelena especially breaks down and just starts like roasting everybody, and then she walks away before her dad, Red Guardian, chases her down, and then Yelena just has this breakdown.
the greatest acting scene.
Like
of-
maybe my favorite monologue in the entire MCU. Where she's just like, I'm so alone, daddy. Like, she just fucking starts totally breaking down, talking about how she drinks all the time and feels so empty in her life. And it just fucking hits, man. It hits different. It's a different type of acting than you usually see in these MCU movies. You know what I mean? She really brought her fucking A game. And I do want to point out, her accent is, like, really fucking good and strong. And David Harbour's, like, fades in and out, like, during this scene a couple times. Like, there's a couple scenes where he's like, Yelena.
Yeah.
With, like, the thickest fucking Ohio accent you've ever heard.
No, but yeah, and then they fucking get their own like where they are, like because they separate after that. They're like, all right, fuck you guys, we're done, and they leave. But then the Void comes and he starts fucking up the city and everything. And then watching them basically become the heroes at that moment, like where they are and saving the city and everything.
Oh, yeah, like, rubble's collapsing around them, and they have, like, an Avengers moment where they're, like, all the Thunderbolts are saving the are like, saving civilians and pushing rubble off of people and all that shit. And
Underneath the bridge.
it's where you start getting what this movie is building towards a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
that
pretty dope.
scene ends with the Void coming out and starting to roast people. And then Yelena chooses to walk into the Void because I don't know what her reasoning is exactly, but she seems to think that it will be her best way to connect with Bob, get through to him, and get him to stop.
Yeah.
She goes in and starts having the same bad memories she had in the vault on a loop, escapes from that and gets into several different bad memories until she finds Bob's shame room. And Bob's shame room is basically him hiding in his room while his dad goes on like a drunken tirade. It gives you...
the safest room that he can find.
Yeah. Yelena convinces him that it's safe to come out.
His mom was getting beat, and it's when his mom called him. Remember when they were working their way up, and then he was like upset, and he goes, "This is I'm always the fuck up," basically.
Yeah. He says something like, I'll just make things worse.
Yeah, that's his mom goes. You always just make things worse. When he finally stepped up to save his mom.
There's another notable line where his dad tells him, "What, you think you're a hero?" or something like that. And then that's exactly what the Void says to him when he confronts the Void like a scene later.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I'm saying.
But essentially,
the best writing that Marvel ever did.
that's what I'm saying is they go to some deep places here with it.
Got you.
Yelena convinces him it's safe to go out, and then the room and the memories start attacking him, like trying not to let him leave. That's when the rest of the Thunderbolts come in and they help them to get out of that room. They go through a couple more, fight the meth chicken, and then then they get to the last room, which is the room where Bob was implanted with the shit that turned him into the Sentry, and that's where the Void is.
Damn.
Bob
So
has
that's like a bad memory for him.
yes.
So that's when he killed the first two people, turned them into.
When he got the powers immediately, the two people who were injecting him just they were gone.
And it was an accident to begin
so
with,
he's
so it's
freaked
like
the
a
fuck
big
out. To
regret.
him, they
bad
were like
memory.
Hiroshima.
And then they thought that, and then he like passed out, and they thought that he died, and that's how he got locked in the fucking vault with the rest of the trash.
Damn.
But
That's crazy.
Bob starts, the Void turns on everybody,
Mhm.
basically like contains all of the other people on the team, and then Bob starts 1v1ing the Void. That's not what he's supposed to do, because he starts beating the shit out of his dark side, and then his
That was
dark
awesome.
side
Right, because
starts
I'm like, wait, he
overwhelming
is
him.
like
He's
technically
William
the
Dafoe.
Void.
It was like Heartless from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, he literally looks like a Heartless from
It's
Kingdom Hearts. You're
wild.
right.
Damn.
I thought of you immediately.
Spitting.
Oh my god.
But,
Live action Kingdom Hearts better happen.
Make it happen.
Here we are.
Shadows can fucking work.
Sentry.
Please don't do
confirmed.
that. Please.
It's already happening.
But
brother.
Disney.
Anyway.
John Favreau's already made
Oh,
it.
anyone but him. Anyway, Yelena and the rest of the Thunderbolts give Bob a big hug, tell him it's gonna be okay, and then they manage to get out of the Void together. And after that, the Void, which by the way was enveloping the entire fucking city of New York at this point,
Like while everything was happening.
it just retracts. It just retracts. Everyone's let out of the Void.
Okay.
The thing about that is, after Bob gets out of the Void, he can't remember what the fuck just happened. He can't remember being the Sentry or being the Void.
So his memory kind of wipes back to before any of that even happened.
He feels better. He clearly is doing better mentally.
Right.
But he does not remember the whole shit that just happened inside the shame rooms. He does not remember being the Void. He doesn't remember any
Like,
of that.
in a way that's good, but in a way it's like not.
Yeah, he's kind of in the dark.
Right.
But essentially, what this all leads to is now that they're out of the Void, they're all like, "Where the fuck is Val?" they go
Type shit, yeah.
They go over to Val. They're about to beat her ass.
Deservingly so.
She ducks behind a fence. They follow her, and there's a whole bunch of reporters. And she's putting on a press conference, and she's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, your new Avengers."
Because, look, the whole time there was a press conference coming.
She was trying to put on a press conference for the Sentry. And then all the Void shit happened.
For the Sentry
And
to
then all the
have
Void
beat
shit
all of
happened.
them.
Exactly.
So-
But then they saved all those people, and she got a light bulb, and then the Void showed up, and by the time that all of that shit was resolved,
They walked through like, oh shit. And just like
When
a
no one
sign,
knows
"The
that
new
was Bob."
Avengers," and, bruh, great one.
I have a question. I have a question about that. I wonder how Bucky feels. I wonder why Bucky chooses to go along with this.
Yeah, 'cause
because his whole
Sam-
thing was he was trying to impeach Val the whole movie. That was his whole thing. And now he works ostensibly for Val.
Remember?
They,
She kind of works for them,
yeah.
but
But she owns
Leo
the
and
fucking
him.
building.
Yelena was like, we have
She
your
bought
secrets
out
now,
the
we own
Avengers
you.
Tower in the
She
way
said,
That they end up living in, and I mean, none of them end up buying it, right? So like, she owns
here's the
that
thing:
whole
she
time
owns
new
the
Avengers stay
building.
there.
She owns the building, and she's like their manager. Their
Right,
manager.
yeah, like, yeah,
but
Fury.
but
What?
she's not. She's like a shitty Nick Fury.
Yeah.
She's like a
Yeah.
Yes.
but
Bruh.
a diet Nick Fury.
A Tulsi Gabbard.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
But
So okay, lore wise,
this means your new
was
Avengers.
the new Avengers already like? Did they go by in comic books ever? Were they? called
This was
them,
a little
like,
bit
these
twist.
same
This is-
characters or whatever. Or close enough
Here's
to
the thing: there
almost
is
new
no
Avengers.
version
Were they
of the
called the
MCU
Thunderbolts
team.
before?
The MCU teams are never in lockstep with the comic book teams.
Right,
okay?
I know they're
For
an
instance,
adaptation, but like I'm like, Did the New Avengers ever form a team before they were known as the New Avengers that like we're basically
Yes,
getting at,
instead of
and they
Val,
were like a
instead of Val, it
different
was
kind of
Norman
team
Osborn.
that
It
was
was
called
Well,
the
here's the-
Thunderbolts or
Jared
something?
Zemo.
Well, here's the
the
thing: the
leader.
Thunderbolts in the comics are a totally different lineup. It's like Zemo, Red Hulk, Bullseye, like
Yeah.
people like that, actual evil
That would've been
characters.
awesome to see.
This is
Okay.
only a Thunderbolts adaptation in name, like only.
But the thing is, the concept is almost
and
still
no,
there
the
in
Thunderbolts
a way,
never
The
turn
concept
into
because
the
they
New
take
Avengers.
characters that are supposed to be
The
the
new
New
Avengers,
Avengers,
the new
and
Avengers
her plan
storyline
was to
is
make
the
them
same
like
as
the
what's going
bad
on
guy.
now with
Yeah.
Norman Osborn.
She
You know what I
twisted
mean?
around
You
to
get
make
like how
Sentry
she
a
was
good
trying to
guy.
make them the bad guys and have them ended, but instead, so like it's
Well,
almost
here's
that same relation.
well,
That's
here's
kinda
the
why I
thing.
asked, 'cause,
Here's the
like,
thing
to
about
see
it.
how it kind of
Just
relates.
to wrap up real
Mhm.
quick. When you get to the post-credits scene,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
a flash forward that is 14
So like
months
the
later.
movie, it basically ends with your new Avengers.
It ends
and then
with
you
they're
have
your new
a-
Avengers, and then during the credits, there's a big lineup of like newspaper headlines about them, and apparently the new Avengers are not popular. People are like,
Yeah,
man, what the
yeah.
fuck? These shitty ass fucking B-Vengers.
I miss
fucking
the old Avengers.
Yeah, like not my Avengers, like fucking literally.
Yeah, I think
But
they do say that in one of the newspapers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But then the
See,
post-credits.
that's-
Red Guardians do
That's
suit.
But see, that's another appreciation of this movie because remember I was talking about connectivity and how throughout Daredevil when we had our Daredevil episode that will come out, I was talking about how the people view the Avengers and the people view superheroes and everything.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about basically now we're at a point where the Avengers is being marketed by remember he brings out the jacket and it's like we are the Avengers with the Z and there's all these like
Avengers.
Oh, that was great.
Alexi's so goddamn
Alex-
funny.
The fucking
So
the
like
product
now,
placement.
now we have a situation where the Avengers is literally just
A brand.
a brand.
No, can I? One side note about Alexi, because I meant to say this earlier.
The government superhero.
Red Guardian is so funny for this main reason. He is an in-universe fanboy for the MCU. He knows every single fucking character, and it's so funny. Bucky pulls up and he's like, the Winter Soldier. He meets fucking Walker and he's like, U.S. agent. U.S. He fucking sees Ghost. I have no fucking idea how he knows who Ghost is. He's like, Ghost with the
Wait.
power to turn intangible. Ghost.
It's like, who the fuck does he know who Ghost is? I
Where are
forgot
you?
who
Did
Ghost
you read the
was.
wiki? How do you fucking know all
I'm
this shit?
going to Wikipedia right now.
Yes, I
Omniscient as fuck.
subscribe
Like,
to Marvel newsletter.
he-
Like you guys don't know, I'm this tight with the
with-
narrator.
with how dark the movie was, I'm so glad
wrote
Red
the
Guardian could
comic.
like bring up the comedy because like it got real dark to where I'm like,
No,
damn, is this
I,
gonna get
I
funny?
like that though. I like
It was
that
a
though
great
because this is
blend.
like off topic but half-assed not. So like I was saying like I gotta rewatch like Supernatural and shit.
Yeah.
There's this part in Supernatural where they introduce a character where like Supernatural itself is like all of Sam and Dean's stories are a book that was already written before it happened.
So they
to
got
them
like a super
by a
fan.
dude that wrote it. And so he knows every fucking thing that's happening, and they have a whole fandom that they end up running into and finding out about when they people
It's
think
the
they're
same. It's
cosplaying
like the same
as
fucking
themselves.
thing. It's like
yeah,
the same
and it's
fucking
funny
thing.
as fuck, bro. But like they end up using him to their advantage, and he becomes
want-
like a part of the team in a way, bro.
TV shows are important.
I wonder how deep it would go with Red Guardian. Like, would he be like, yes, Moon Knight, Miss
yes.
Marvel,
Hey, Tony
Like
Stark,
a new,
why are
like
you
a new
Dr.
superhero
Doom?
pops up in
Echo.
the city like the next week. I wrote you last
I
week. Hey,
remember
it's
when
nice
I
to
gave
see
the
you ice
deaf
cream.
superhero.
My company made that
You
ice
fought
cream.
Wilson
you got.
Fisk.
Oh man.
Kevin Feige.
Yes, Deadpool. You come from another dimension.
Nah, but super side note, if you ain't seen Supernatural, bro, it's actually pretty
I
good.
never
There's
got
this
around
one
to
episode.
that.
I have
was
heard
around
you
my
talk
high
about
school
Supernatural
days.
many
There's
times.
this one
You
episode.
guys do know that, right? My bad. Red Guardian is like a super spy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, in the
That's the
comics.
whole point of Black
He
Widow.
raised Natasha. Like, he
Yeah.
better be.
They were
Yeah,
from
right, that
America,
makes
got
sense.
Sent to Russia, and he became Russia's superhero, but he was working for America.
Yeah,
So that's
Okay.
like
Captain Russia.
So there's this episode where Sam and Dean they pop into a town where I guess like all the like toys and inanimate objects have like come to life. They have sentience, right?
Mhm.
Oh my god, bro! So they're like looking to see like what's going on and shit, and they're not even supposed to be here in this town. It kind of became like some side mission for them, right? So they're figuring things out, and there's this fucking big ass life size teddy bear that's in a like motel room, right? And he's like crying, bro, because he has no idea why he's even alive. He just wants to be back
I'd
to
be
being how
confused.
things were. And he's in there.
I
He's got a
don't like being
shotgun, bro.
alive.
And,
I don't.
bro.
He's got a shotgun.
Yeah.
Hold up.
The scene is building up, bro. It's building up.
It's like
and then
fucking
I'm pretty
Rhino
sure,
in
like,
Attack
you
on
see him shut the
Titan.
door or some shit, and you just hear, and like you see the
Damn.
shadow of all like his fucking stuffing go all over the place. He's still crying. Stop.
I'm
Bro,
dead.
this shit's so fucking funny, bro. It's like it's dark humor as fuck, but it's so fucking funny. A big life-size teddy bear comes to life out of nowhere and wants nothing more but to just be not sentient again, bro.
Real quick, just on the post-credit scene. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because it takes place 14 months later, so they have
Okay.
been
So they're, like,
functioning as
established
they have been
after
functioning
all
as the
the
new Avengers
newspapers
for
that happened
over a
during
year.
the
Yeah.
Yep.
Apparently they are in a legal dispute with Captain America over the copyright for the name Avengers. Because Bucky and Sam talked about this, got in a fight, and now are like at a disagreement. And here's what I want to ask all of y'all about this.
Bruh.
Two things. First of all, who is right? And second of all, how did this conversation go down? Because I'm wondering, like,
did they ever register the name
hold
of
on,
the Avengers?
because I told
Like-
you Bucky, I don't really understand why he's working with Val anyway. Is this like out of loyalty for the Thunderbolts now? Is this out of like why is he committed to the new Avengers
Right,
like
like
this,
why
to the point
why
where he
even
would
be a
fight
part of
Sam
the cause
about
like
it?
this? You don't even.
Wouldn't Nick Fury be the only one?
He's the one
Nick
that put
Fury
the team
would
together.
probably be supporting Sam if he were around in any
But he's
capacity.
still dead, right?
No, I don't. I didn't watch Secret Invasion. I don't know.
Okay. See, that's what was confusing about Secret Invasion is he's dead to everybody
Publicly.
Because he still
Yeah,
has
if anyone's
his
mad
ass.
about the name Avengers, it should be him.
Because he
If it should be anybody, it should be Captain Marvel because it's named after her.
But the Avengers, but like Nick Fury is the one that gathered them and then put them in the team together and said you're the Avengers.
Okay, the reason Sam Wilson,
the one that named them,
Sam
right?
Wilson would be mad is because Cap passed him the shield with the intention that he would take on the mantle. Cap was the leader of the Avengers.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
Sam is like,
that's
I'm
valid.
supposed to
That's
be the leader
valid.
of the Avengers. Not only that, but during Civil War, the whole thing they were fighting about was we don't want the government to have control of the Avengers.
Right.
And now Bucky is part of a government-led Avengers team. And so Sam's like, well, what the fuck did we fight Civil War for?
The whole cause is kind of.
Not only that, but we
yeah.
don't know who's on Sam's team. It could be fucking anybody. It could be Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, regular Hulk, Captain Marvel. I think he quit. Quite honestly, I think he quit.
Yeah, I think they were short-term lived. I don't know.
She basically says like, "Oh, half a term. That's crazy."
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm pretty sure he quit. But and especially after a year of being a new Avenger, I'm positive he quit. But the point is not even
fuck
that
this shit.
because shit gets bigger than the whole legal dispute. Because they get a call that there is an interdimensional spaceship entering Earth's orbit. And they look at a camera that is in space, and they see a big spaceship with a big number 4 on it.
Fantastic 4!
And then literally the fucking music sting happens. And then boom, end credits. And it says the new Avengers will return. And it says the...
And apparently they show the credits, like the Fantastic Four theme song at the credits end.
So wait,
I didn't.
Okay.
Wait.
So
the Russos.
Yeah, so
Russo's directed that.
I'm
Wait.
betting that's gonna be like the opening quarrel of like Doomsday.
Yeah.
I don't know about the
Or-
opening
Doomsday
scene, but it'll be early.
or Fantastic Four because that didn't come out quite yet.
Florence
So
came when they were
like,
doing the
I mean,
would this
Fantastic
be-
Four comes out in like a month.
Like
right.
like
So they're about to be like
marketing and everything, she said
immediately
they filmed that.
interconnected.
Which is how these things used to be.
yeah.
Exactly. So
filmed
that's
it pretty
that's a good
soon.
callback to going back to fucking phase 1 of trying to just instantly tying into that next thing connected wise through that in that post credit scene.
No,
Thunderbolts
okay.
is the last movie in the Phase 5 too.
Okay, so we are officially in phase
So we're officially
6.
in phase. Bro, I feel like you should call Thunderbolts the first movie of Phase 6 if they're gonna.
It kind of
actually
feels
do
like it, right?
With that end credit scene going straight into something that's coming out
You
next
see,
fucking
you
month.
see, but you see, but if you don't call that the end of Phase 5, then
Fantastic
Daredevil
Four,
Born
dude.
Again is the end of Phase 5, and that doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
Frankly, it's weird that Phase 4 ends with Wakanda Forever. I like that movie, but it doesn't have anything to do with anything but Black Panther shit.
Yeah. How is Namor gonna come in?
Oh yeah,
I have no idea. They might just fucking hold
It
off.
sucks because really the
He's in-
overarching
he's
thing is that the
cast in
phases are
fucking-
He's
just
in
parts of the
Doomsday?
story.
Yeah.
Cast too.
What the fuck is the point? What's he gonna be
I
doing?
think he's gonna be the Avengers.
No,
he
he's
a
gonna
good
be
guy
like,
now?
Not with
Well,
the
he
Avengers,
wasn't-
but he's gonna.
He wasn't.
I
a
mean,
good
I-
guy.
Side note.
I love.
Side
Namor.
note.
Namor wasn't-
Like, I get what Wakanda Forever wanted to say. I get what its message is. I don't think it makes sense that Shuri didn't kill him. I don't think.
Black Panther doesn't kill like that. I don't believe.
No nobility and shit.
Yeah, loyalty.
Fuck all that. He killed your mom. Fuck all that.
Uh,
He killed your fucking mom. Murk that nigga. Stab him in the throat. Murk that.
that's like. That's
I don't
like, that's
care.
Like if Spider-Man killed Uncle Ben's killer. Like,
And this isn't like a Bucky situation. Like, everybody says Tony was justified for trying to kill Bucky. What Namor did is 1,000 times worse. He drowned your mom. Intentionally.
Yeah. Why did
It was
you
a
strap
whole-
out?
taking revenge is.
Killmonger was right. In this particular instance, Killmonger was right.
Yeah, so yeah, he's definitely gonna be an Avenger.
He had to stick around so that he
Wait,
could fuck
Namor
Reed
was
Richards'
an
wife.
Avenger. Yeah, and the old Namor, like yellow,
Namor was
by
the
a
first,
black
like,
hair.
in the first
Yeah, Namor. Yeah, he could be in the Avengers. Yeah, duh, I totally forgot about it. He's like one of the first superheroes in Marvel too.
That's what's gonna happen is fucking
Okay,
I'm
so
just glad we got Namor.
New Avengers is Yelena, Red Guardian, Winter Soldier, Ghost, Sentry. That's it. Sam needs at least 5 people. So they would be Sam, Ramirez, who's his Falcon,
Yeah.
one of the Hulks, probably
Fun.
Shuri, and Shang-Chi.
yeah, Namor.
And
So-
I
and-
think Namor and Black Panther are gonna come.
I like the idea of putting Kate Bishop on Falcon's team because then you can have more Yelena versus Kate Bishop.
yeah,
But I don't think they're going to do
She's
that
gonna
because
be-
she's supposed to be Young
I
Avengers.
think
Young,
Avengers
yeah.
will work for the government too.
That's my thing is like, I didn't watch She-Hulk. I know Hulk has a kid. I know he's one of them. I didn't watch
Star
Agatha.
Wars
I know
supposed to
Wiccan's
be
one of them.
kind of babys. It looks like in those concept art, Star Wars babysitting the Young Avengers. So what if he's like the leader of the Young Avengers?
That would be
cool.
funny. Honestly, I would love that if you're going to do
Oh,
anything
yeah,
with
bring-
Star-Lord.
Perfect.
I'm fine with Star-Lord never coming back, personally.
Star-Lord.
fine.
I mean, they said he will, but
I know they said he will. I am literally fine with every single Guardians of the Galaxy character just going off into the
Yeah,
sunset. I don't need
definitely.
any of them.
Also, a side note: Agatha in the comics is also like for the Young Avengers. Like she's like a spirit for them. Not spoilers,
I know that in some of the
Yeah.
comics she is. I know that in some of the comics she is like a nanny to Franklin Richards,
Yeah.
which I think is eventually what they're gonna do with her.
Ooh.
I don't know if you know anything about Franklin Richards. People think Scarlet Witch is strong. This guy literally breaks the universe casually.
He can kill-
He farts too hard and he breaks the fucking fabric.
He can
of
kill
reality.
Galactus and Sentry at the same time.
How
The power scaling is gonna get out of
Dude,
this.
Franklin
fucking
Richards is
world
gonna
when
kill
he gets-
Doom. I'm calling it.
Get to us is Franklin, like as a baby.
I'm not sure because she's not super pregnant in like the trailers and stuff.
You're pregnant.
I think you might go
Oh,
through the
just-
plot of Doomsday and Secret Wars and not have Franklin yet. Like that's what
I think he's gonna be in one of them. They're gonna eventually.
he might be born in
He might be
Secret
like
Wars.
he might
like
be the
some shit
Paul
like that.
Atreides of
No,
the
I
fucking
think-
universe. He's gonna fuck everything up.
Because you have to have Franklin Richards. For what Secret Wars is about to do, Franklin Richards is going to fix it.
Can they breeze bring in Adam Warlock
Yeah,
this
'cause he
time?
fixes it and Franklin Richards fixes it.
They made Adam Warlock too goofy for him
They
to really
did.
be
I
taken
wish they would
seriously.
just bring him back.
You already missed your window. If you were gonna do anything with him, it had to be an Infinity War, and they just said fuck that, which
Who's
I don't
making
blame them
Will
for. I don't
Poulter?
blame. Guardians 3 was good enough. You know, I felt like that was a good payoff for him. He can be Rocket's bitch now. He can be.
Oh, that's right. They go off in space. Hey, they might get a Disney Plus.
But
show.
fellas, we need to point out Marvel seems like they've righted the ship. We were pretty worried there for a minute. But we just got Daredevil and Thunderbolts. Next up is Fantastic Four, which looks great. Then you've got
Do not say Marvel's back. Marvel's been back.
yeah, literally, that's what I'm
It's been
saying.
back since like Daredevil.
And
since,
then
like,
after
Guardians
Fantastic
3.
Four, you're gonna get Doomsday, then Spider-Man 4, then Secret Wars. And I just cannot see them fucking all three of those up. I can't.
And if they do,
I've
shame
got
on
mixed
them.
feelings about Endgame. I've already said so. It's still a good fucking movie.
I love Endgame. I think it's top 5 superheroes of all time.
It's not even clearing the Batman to me. It's not even.
I think
Spider-Man 2, Into the Spider-Verse, fucking.
Spider-Verse
I'm saying
really
no.
good.
I'm saying these are movies better than Endgame.
Oh,
Spider-Man
no.
2, The Dark Knight, The Batman,
The Dark
Into
Knight,
the
yeah.
Spider-Verse,
not the Batman.
Infinity War, Avengers 1.
No, not Avengers 1.
No, definitely Avengers 1.
Endgame brings
Avengers
back,
1 is
expands Avengers 1.
You take that shit for granted, man. The Avengers 2012 should not have fucking worked when it came out. You
Yeah,
take
but-
that shit for granted. It's a miracle that movie came out as good as it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but because they built it up well.
Exactly. And they did a better job with all of the characters and all of the payoffs than they do in Endgame.
No, Endgame, they bring those characters all back together and they like complete that
Hulk's
chapter.
character arc is resolved off screen, and I will never be okay with that.
I mean, there's other characters. Like,
Endgame's ending in the fucking the battle scene when fucking Captain America is about to unleash.
he finally
them on
says
them.
Avengers
he says-
Assemble.
Let me tell you why I have such an appreciation with that. Is because when he says Avengers Assemble, he doesn't shout it. He doesn't yell it. He says,
Assemble.
Avengers Assemble. And then what do you hear after that? The two kings rival their fucking army like they're fucking supposed to. Wakanda forever! Bro, beautiful fucking writing. I love it. I love
It's
it.
like one of the greatest movies I've ever fucking seen.
Can you imagine how much smoother Phase 4 would have gone if Chadwick had just stayed alive?
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
sorry to be that guy. Gotta throw it out there. He was the guy. He was
Yeah.
supposed to be the guy.
Wakanda Forever could have been a better movie with him, but
He also probably would have been in Sinners, so it's worth pointing that out.
probably.
Breaking my heart every time I think about him.
Yeah, we share the same birthday.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to tell you guys, this has been a special one. This one went on for a fucking while. You know what we didn't even point out? This guy had a fucking child in between episodes. In between episodes.
Hey, congratulations.
Don't leave.
Yes,
Nah,
yes.
this guy got some fucking PTO, some paternity leave. Maverick, future TBD podcast member.
That is a dope ass name though, for real.
Sick as fuck.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, it's been an eventful month, and we had a long time coming with this, and I'm glad that when we got back together, we could have a good long conversation about something we've been waiting to talk about, you know? I saw Thunderbolts twice already.
Yeah, it's been
I-
out a week. Only a week.
Nah,
we
I
I
caught
definitely
it.
need to see this.
I
This man
really
is
am not
great.
exaggerating. I think it's top 10 MCU. I think it's clearing Winter Soldier. It's clearing.
Oh
Home.
no,
It's clearing.
I don't think it's nowhere
It's
near as
clearing.
good as Winter Soldier.
It's better than Winter Soldier.
No,
I don't give a fuck.
no, I
I
disagree.
don't give a fuck.
Listen,
I don't
the
give
Winter
a
Soldier
fuck.
is
It's
way
better than
better.
3
of a
out of
movie.
4 Avengers movies. It's better than
No,
3 out of
no. I think you guys just saw the movie. I feel like Thunderbolts is
Like,
good,
it's
but
just
it's
still very
nowhere near a
fresh
top
for you.
10. I think it's like a top 30.
Winter Soldier ain't making me cry in a theater, man.
Yeah, but you don't have
Winter
to cry to
Soldier-
like just because you cry doesn't mean it's a top 10. I mean,
But
I
if
give-
it's emotionally connecting
I
with
think
you, though, that
Thunderbolts
does
is a
really-
good
that stands for a
redemption
lot.
to like a lot
It
of.
really
That's
does
what
stand
I
for
go
a
to
lot.
movies for. That's
Right.
what I go to movies.
That emotional
Right.
connection is
Definitely
important.
I just think these are all D-list heroes that
I
we're
didn't
just
say
not
top
gonna
5.
remember.
I didn't say top
Yeah,
5.
but top 10. There's like
You're
I
naming
can name
top
20
five.
better
Yeah,
Marvel
you're
movies
naming
than
top five.
Thunderbolts.
You cannot name. First of
I
all,
really can.
there's only 30 of these. You cannot name 20 better than
there are,
Thunderbolts.
though.
Try.
Let's
Do it right now.
Right now. We're gonna do it.
Do it right now.
No,
Yeah.
20.
Do it right now. Name 20 off the
Iron
top of
Man
your head.
1, Guardians 1, Guardians 3, Infinity War, Endgame, Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron is
Yeah,
not better than this movie.
Not
Not in any way, shape, or
I
form
think
is Age of
Ultron's a
Ultron
better villain.
Age of Ultron is definitely
Thunderbolt. Look, Thunderbolts is a miracle.
Age
This
of-
movie was good in the begin with. I don't think
Age of Ultron with that fucking cave scene with
Look, we're
Thor
talking about a movie
and the
that's-
fucking dumbass Black Widow Hulk romance.
Yeah,
And- go on, go on.
These are better characters. Like, there's way more memorable characters than Thunderbolts. Like, it's just Thunderbolts is the Suicide Squad.
Did anyone in the world give a shit when Quicksilver got shot? Did anyone in
Yeah,
the
but that's
world
Quicksilver. I'm
mourn
not
for
talking about-
Quicksilver? Did anyone but Wanda mourn for Quicksilver?
Yeah,
Did anyone but
we're not talking. That has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I'm saying these movies are more. This movie just came out last week.
maybe
and
that's why you're not giving it its respect.
I
'Cause you're like, oh, it's too recent. I can't, but it's literally better than half of these.
Yeah, but I know it's not better than half. I think there's more memorable scenes in other Marvel movies than this movie. This
We're
movie's
talking about
great
The
because it has
Broad.
great action
Is it the best
sequences.
Phase 5 movie?
It's not even the action sequences to me. I like this movie because of how it emotionally connects. I like how it writes the characters. I like its
Right,
cinematography. I like its lighting.
Right now it's ranked number
Right,
3.
I like its score. I like its fucking soundtrack. I like its fucking yes, the action.
Yeah, but I feel
sequences.
there are I think
It's better paced than
Okay,
something like Age of
okay.
Ultron.
No. Civil War and
By the way,
the
hold on,
first
hold on.
Iron Man,
Tangent. I want to call this out because
fucking
the
Civil
episode
War and
comes
Winter
out.
Soldier are way
This
better.
is going to be such a shock. This is
Yeah,
going to be
and-
such a shock to hear Nick talk about this, by the way, because of all
It
the
is, like,
previous videos that we had about
It's
Marvel.
cool. I just
Like-
don't think Thunderbolts is a top
Yeah,
10
dude,
MCU
it's not
movie.
like I'm a Marvel shill who likes every new
Yeah.
thing that comes out. You know how fucking hard it was to get me this hard back on board?
Right.
Like-
Like, I just think it's a movie
We're
that.
about to go through the Marvel DC episode. Oh, arguments.
I liked
Right.
like 2 movies in Phase 4. I liked
Yeah,
Wakanda
I think-
Forever and No Way Home.
Is it bad?
And Loki.
also, like, these movies are also different. So I try to compare Thunderbolts. If they're the new Avengers,
It's definitely not.
it's
better
definitely not better than any of the Avengers movie.
Like I said,
I think Winter Soldier's a little overrated. so
No,
that's just
Winter
me.
Soldier's the first legitimately good Marvel movie to me. Iron Man 1's good, then everything else, and then Winter
Avengers-
Soldier.
Wait a minute. First off, Iron Man is a good movie.
Iron
First
Man
off,
1
Iron-
is a good movie, but like a really
so
fucking
is First Avenger. So is
yeah, that's it though. And then Winter Soldier is like a spy through. Like, what the fuck's going on? What Hydra's been around?
Wait,
this
you
whole
don't think
time?
Avengers 2012 is a good movie?
I think Winter Soldier's
2012
superior.
is not top 10 for me.
First 2012 is still great.
Y'all are fucking crazy.
First Avengers is still
Y'all
a
are
great
fucking
movie.
crazy. I don't
Yeah,
get
fun-
this.
okay.
now,
I don't get
now,
it.
I don't
today-
think Thunderbolts
today-
will be memorable.
If
in
I'm
5
going,
years,
if I'm ranking all
personally.
30,
It's still a
Hold on.
good
It literally sets up the entire finale of this saga that we're in. How are you gonna say it's not gonna be relevant in 5 years when literally every single plot point you are looking forward to in Doomsday and Secret War is set up by this movie?
No, it's set up
None
by
of this shit.
Fantastic Four.
No, but Fantastic Four is set up by this movie. So
Yeah,
It's
but
set up by-
Thunderbolts.
this is the first step. So how you gonna say it's not relevant? That's like saying, oh, Iron Man doesn't matter because you're just waiting to get to Avengers.
Let me pop this bubble. Let me pop this bubble. Let me pop this bubble.
Saying these
Somebody has to
characters
die.
I don't
in
even know
Doomsday.
Sentry stuff. I
Look,
don't know any of these characters in this movie.
Oh,
Yelena,
Sentry-
we know her in Black
You
Widow.
get way more out of these characters than you get out of anybody.
I know we really don't actually. I think all these other Avengers characters, the main A characters, these are D-list characters that are thankfully written pretty well, but they're not my favorite characters. I think they're just
Just because they're not.
They're just
Spider-Man
emo,
and
they're all
Batman
emo.
Doesn't mean they're not good characters.
yeah,
I
but
don't
they're
need
all
them to
just
be A-listers.
yeah.
All right,
they're
so
not
look,
heroes
so can
either.
we- can
they're
we
like they're all
explain
pieces of shit.
What you're saying? What you're
Who gave a
saying?
shit
What
about
you're
Iron Man?
what you're saying?
I did.
Hold on. What you're saying?
I did. I
Okay.
love Iron Man.
No,
I
no,
love
no.
Captain
Not,
America.
not
I love
Iron Man.
Spider-Man.
You're talking
Gave a shit
A-listers.
about Iron Man
I
in
love
comic
that.
circles
Yeah, they
before
made
on.
Iron
Downey
Man.
Jr.
Hold on.
They
Hold
made
on.
Iron Man cool. with
Guardians
Jon
of the
Favreau.
Galaxy. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
is
Guardians of the Galaxy was a
This
D-list.
is the new Guardian of the
Yeah.
Galaxy for us.
And Guardians of the Galaxy
is top.
literally held up as
top
the
10.
best Marvel movie by a ton of people.
Yeah, a lot of people
You
who
have
don't
to
like
have an A-lister for
a
the
lot of
movie to be
people that don't like
A-list.
Marvel movies love Guardians of the Galaxy. I know a lot of people that
And
only
Thunderbolts
watch.
has that same appeal. You
Yeah,
don't have to
Thunderbolts
know
is
these
different than
characters.
those other movies. Yeah, but I don't think
Thunderbolts,
it's a top 10
solid
MCU
9
at all.
all time.
I think it's a special movie that, like, I think non-Marvel fans will like, or people that really have depression problems. That
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't-
Thunderbolts.
which I do.
But we're talking
but
about art.
I
So are
think
you?
putting that in a comic book film, almost.
What,
I don't
comic
know.
Movies can't have themes. Can't have.
I mean, they're kind of supposed to.
I mean,
First off, this is not the first.
they're all super.
First off, this is not the first comic book movie about depression. You know who else is fucking depressed? Peter Parker, all the
Right, yeah, I was
goddamn
gonna
time.
say, yeah.
You know who else is depressed? Bruce Wayne,
Bruce
all the
Wayne is
goddamn
fucking
time.
depressed.
You know who else is fucking depressed? Fucking Punisher. You know who else is depressed? Daredevil. You know who else is depressed? Ghost Rider. You know who else is
Yeah.
depressed? Elektra. You know who else is
before.
depressed? Green Lantern. You know who
Yeah.
else is depressed? Flash. You know who else is depressed? Fucking Superman. You know,
Right.
all of these fuckers are depressed because their lives suck, because they're weighed down by responsibility, and because they've all had to do fucked up shit they don't want to do.
Thunderbolts is top 10 because, and this is the connectivity that I'm talking about throughout the whole MCU. Thunderbolts is great because of what we've been through in the MCU so far and where we are now. That it has to be a solid 9. It tells the story of what the people of New York had to deal with throughout this whole time. What Val had to fucking come to get more protection. We had a Red Hulk be president. We had this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
We need something now. Boom, we get the new Avengers. They're going
Right,
to
she
die.
decides
in
that
Doomsday.
because
they are
she's
going
in
to die
shit
in Doomsday
trouble
and Secret
with-
Wars. They are going to be our sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I will agree with you that they will.
A lot of them are gonna die
But-
in Doomsday.
But
A lot of these
they
Thunderbolts
are-
will
they
die
are-
in
this
Doomsday or
movie
Secret
is
Wars.
the heart of the MCU right now.
Especially
Hold on, think this through for a second, okay? When you actually look at the body count from Infinity War and Endgame,
look at Doomsday.
the people who died and stayed dead were Natasha, Tony. Hold on, Natasha, Tony, the original Vision, and Thanos. That's like your permanent deaths. That's only 4 people. They're not going to kill 4 out of 5 of the new Avengers. You know what I mean? Plus, there's all these other characters. They'll probably kill Thor off. They'll
They
probably
can't kill Thor. Thor's a god. Well, he dies eventually.
Loki literally got choked to death by
Loki's in
Thanos.
Secret Wars and Doomsday. That's another variant. Of
Odin
Loki.
turned into dust and blew away in the wind. These guys die all the time.
No,
Remember
they-
Hela
God,
stabbing?
okay.
Remember Hela stabbing 5 of the Asgardians in the fucking chest, and all of them. Remember her killing all of Thor's friends?
Yeah, those guys died.
Jane Foster
God
literally
can kill-
died in the last Thor movie, and
Yeah.
she had the powers of Thor, and she.
Yeah, God can kill a god,
Right.
but yeah,
Loki got killed by a dude who he literally told,
Loki
"You
isn't
will never
dead.
be a god.
Loki's not
You will
dead."
never be a god."
Loki's
His last
not-
words were literally, "You are canonically not a god. You are canonically."
Loki's not even dead. That was like another.
No, that Loki is dead. That Loki is dead.
that Loki is. Yeah,
So a Loki is dead. So an Asgardian can be killed by someone who is not a god. Who is not.
so you think Thor could die in Secret Wars?
Yes.
Sylvie killed
Yes.
a bunch of Lokis also.
Are you telling me that if Captain Marvel punched Thor straight through his chest, he wouldn't die? He wouldn't.
Captain Marvel's not a god.
Captain Marvel's about to kill Thanos.
Why do you think that a god is the only person who can kill an Asgardian? We've never been told that.
It's part of Greek mythology.
This is not Greek mythology. This is Marvel Comics. This is not.
Thor
they go
and
in battle.
Zeus and
Thor is
Hercules.
Valhalla is their heaven, and they go to battles against other people that aren't Asgardians and get slaughtered.
Odin died of old age. Odin.
I mean, yeah, you can still do that. You still have a lifespan.
Frigga
They're
got
like-
killed by a dark elf. His mom is an Asgardian. She got killed by a dark elf. That is not a god. That is not a.
I don't know. Maybe it just works in a weird kind of way. Like maybe it's
You
gotta
can
be,
get
like, specific kinds
Asgardians
of
can die to
magic
getting
and shit.
fucking stabbed. I don't know why we have this idea that they can't. Are you telling me Ultron was completely incapable of killing Thor? Then what was the fucking? Then what was any of the
Ultron was
pressure
AI.
with him fighting Thor? What was?
No, you talking about Ultron?
No, I'm saying like literally. Are you telling me that if Ultron fucking cut Thor's head off, he wouldn't die?
Yeah, well,
He wouldn't
Ultron-
die.
I think okay. Here, wait. I think there has to be this thing where are you able to do the thing? Like more
wasn't
so,
there for one
yeah.
of the
If this
films.
thing happened to Thor, he'd be either critically injured or like die. But it's also the question of could this person do this thing to Thor? Could this person get Thor's head off? Could this person actually get a fucking stab Thor through? So like I think that's also got to be a part of the question. Not
Well,
just
he-
if this happens, will he die? Like yeah, he'll fucking
Thanos is
die.
about to
But
kill
can the
him.
person do it to begin with?
And
You know what I mean?
Thanos was about to kill Thor.
I think y'all have a misunderstanding about what an Asgardian in the MCU is. Okay.
No,
They are.
I mean-
Hold on, no. Hear me out. Hear me out. In the MCU, The myths that we have about Greek gods are exactly that, myths based upon these aliens that just live for hundreds of years. They are not literally gods. They are not
They're just
literally
like
gods. They are
gods.
considered gods by us.
Because like they're basically super duper
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
There's no gods. There's no gods in the MCU. They
Well,
like,
Bast is a god.
well, no, I'm saying there's no God.
Yeah,
Like there's no Jesus or so that's what I'm saying. So they take stories like that, right?
Mm.
So for Christians in the MCU, Jesus Christ is God, or however it is. Or not getting into
Whatever they
So,
right, if
but
whatever
other
religion.
people, there's other religions of gods also. The
Mm.
only technically gods that they have is Celestials and the Eternals.
And
Those are
Stanley.
technically
And
their
Eternity.
And
gods.
Stanley.
And Eternity.
And Stanley.
And Stanley.
Yeah. In the Living Tribunal. And that's
Well,
it.
there's a lot of fucking gods.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
right, yeah,
I'm
at this
talking
point.
chronologically. Those are the people who created what's going on now. So they are the gods of the universe. Everybody else, Thor, everybody looks to them as gods.
Actually, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. The whole point in Thor 4 is that Gore the God Butcher is like, you guys are not actually
Am
gods.
I thinking of the right
He wants to kill all of them.
Am I thinking of the right comic?
And then he meets the
Isn't there
actual
someone
God
who's
at the
actually
end.
writing the story of the
He meets
MCU
Eternity and goes,
of yeah,
"Oh,
right.
shit."
Ain't that like
So
this is
Eternity-
MCU shit, right?
Eternity-
Where there's
Yeah.
someone in universe that actually canonically is basically
The
writing
closest
out everything
thing,
that's happening.
the closest
That is
thing
so
to an
God.
actual, the closest thing to an actual all-powerful God that we have met is Eternity and Love and Thunder. They live at the center of the universe and can grant any fucking wish, and they live forever, and you can't kill them. That's the closest thing to a god. Thor is just a really old dude who's buff as shit.
Everybody
He's
else
just-
You're right. It
Everybody
has
else is
powers
dead,
and
by
shit,
the
like
way.
basically like mystical powers.
There's six gods, and then all the other ones are dead besides Eternity. That's why all their statues and everything are knocked down in Thor: Love and
So
Thunder.
Eternity is really
Wow,
like the
the
only one that's
worst
actually
fucking-
like writing shit out.
First fucking movie is
That's
the
crazy.
only one
It's the
like that.
only one with answers in it. It's the, God damn it, I gotta watch this stupid shit.
Yeah, that's the reason why Thor the God Butcher, the sword killed everybody else besides Eternity.
This
That's
conversation just got like an extra like 20 minutes
Right.
added on it.
But-
When we started talking about the pantheons.
I'm not saying it's wrong that you put Thunderbolts in your
Oh, yeah,
top
it's all
10.
subjective.
No,
It's
I'm
all
glad,
subjective.
I'm glad like you and Shaq like love this. This movie is like a miracle that it's actually good. It has a 7.8 on IMDb. It's got 80% Rotten Tomatoes. It's made decent money at box office. Like I personally enjoyed it. Like I'm going to see it tonight actually with a friend apparently. And like it's the first Marvel movie I've seen in a while where I actually want to go see it again. And the last time that happened was Guardians 3. So that was what, 2.5 years ago. So yeah, I think it's a great end to this chapter and on a high note and phase 5 on the last couple episodes we've seen what's been going on in Doctor Strange 2 and Miss Marvel and the Marvels and
Which Doctor Strange?
Thor: Love and Thunder and She-Hulk and but there are some good little nuggets in there like Shang-Chi and Deadpool and Wolverine and Guardians 3.
So
But
like
then
I
you got
said,
Thunderbolts.
Phase 5. Where do you put Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts in Phase 5, I would put like top 3 because it's actually connecting to the end game. Like post end game, it actually moves forward. So yeah, it is one of the better ones. It's like maybe it is better than Guardians 3. I don't know. I really like Guardians 3 as its own movie, but
I would put Guardians 3 over
it's
this.
really, really awesome. Like but as a movie that
I don't
connects
put
with the whole
Guardians 3 over
universe,
this.
it's definitely
I don't put the Guardians 3 over this. It's Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home. I still love a
then
lot
Guardians
more
3.
than.
Can I just say, like, No
Oh.
Way Home is special, but I
Yeah.
think
It is.
it's just obviously uniquely special. You can't take it for granted. But I do think like it has some script problems and some like effects problems. It was kind of fucked over by the whole COVID situation.
I would never say any movie's better than that. Dude, I literally, when I say I go to sleep to this movie as like my go to sleep movie, I literally turn it on and go to sleep. And Kim goes, "Oh man, I'm so fucking sick of this movie." But it's just
To
like,
me-
I fucking love this movie with a passion.
To me, that's how Infinity War is. To me, that's how Infinity War is. Like I just
That used to
cannot
be the
see
first Avengers for
anything
me.
in the
It's just-
MCU
I'm
passing
putting that on
Infinity
the good
War.
side.
Yeah. So that's probably why Avengers is high. Like growing up with Tobey Maguire, then having being a teenager with Andrew Garfield,
Mhm.
and now having Tom Holland. When I love the
Mhm.
MCU,
Mhm.
No Way Home is just
Oh, yeah.
cookie.
I think it's like the ultimate Spider-Man film, other than the cartoon Spider-Verse films, which are technically better movies.
and having it as his
All good, no problem.
new
But,
origin story, beautiful.
Seeing a live-action Spider-Man with the three Spider-Mans that a lot of people love Garfield, a lot of people love Toby, a lot of people love Holland. Like, I don't think we'll ever see a movie like that again, unless if they do show up in Secret Wars. Which
Well, I mean,
I'm not
Secret
sure.
Secret Wars is gonna be that on crack.
Yeah,
So
we might see Toby and Andrew again. I don't know. It would be great. I think
That
we'll
would
see
be
Toby and Wolverine together.
Secret
I
Wars.
think everyone wants to see
I basically guarantee, even
But-
if it's for like 2 seconds, they're gonna be in.
that. And hopefully
Secret
it's
Wars.
used
I want
as
Andrew Garfield to get the black suit in Secret Wars instead of Tom Holland.
another
Well,
thing.
Tom Holland's supposed to get it in our universe. They've already set up that there's a symbiote in our universe.
Right.
So he's gonna get it
Yeah.
in his
That's
universe.
just like a hot take. It probably won't happen, but I just want that.
In the comic Secret War, that's where
I
he
wanted
fucking
to
Yeah,
gets
the
it.
right,
suit,
that's
yeah.
where he gets the Secret
That's a
Wars
big
suit.
thing. So because of Spider-Man 4 Secret Wars, yeah, well, maybe we'll get
No,
a
yeah,
symbiote.
no, we're probably gonna get some. Will be a black Spider-Man in Secret Wars.
Right.
A black Spider-Man? We're getting Miles?
I mean, hey.
Also,
but-
can I just say Thunderbolts had the best Bucky scene I've ever seen. That entrance when he first comes in.
Oh yeah,
It was
it's just
incredible. He has a theme song.
the Winter Soldier.
It was awesome. It was definitely awesome. He got his aura back, is what you mean.
Yeah, he got the.
Bucky has not had aura since Civil War. Like,
Because Winter Soldier is definitely the second best Marvel movie of all time. Just letting you know.
I love Winter Soldier, Civil War,
Full
Black
length.
Panther.
that's not even the best Captain America movie.
What's your favorite Captain America?
Civil War.
Civil War.
It's obviously Civil War.
Civil War is better than Winter Soldier. Yeah. I'll agree. Yeah, Civil War.
Obviously Civil War. What are we talking about?
But Winter Soldier is a special movie because I remember seeing that and being like, Marvel can do this? Because I've seen movies like that, like Enemy of the State with
Civil
Will
War
Smith.
is Avengers 2.5.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. It's better than.
I'm not ranking
Civil
Winter
War's
Soldier
better than
over
Age of
that,
Ultron.
sorry.
Age of Ultron's a movie I think that aged really well unexpectedly. Yes, the Black Widow, all stuff's bad. The
It's
House
the
of
first
all
time they
okay.
said Endgame.
But
Like Infinity War and Endgame wouldn't have worked without Age of Ultron because it starts
Yeah.
everything.
look, I defend Age of Ultron in general. I don't think it's bad,
Yeah.
but I think it's pretty
was
clearly the worst Avengers movie. Like,
Yes.
pretty clearly.
yes.
Avengers Age of Ultron is definitely like number 11 or 12 though. Like starting
It's
off.
up there. You
I would put
can't
that
put it
in
too
the
far.
20,
down.
the middle, like maybe upper because it's a big movie.
It's
I mean,
definitely
huge-
better than shit like Thor.
Oh yeah,
shit
Thor,
like
the
that.
You
Thors.
keep saying there's 36 movies, and you keep saying like 15. There's definitely 15 mid movies.
Yeah,
to
oh,
make the top
absolutely.
20.
Ant-Man 2, Iron Man 2.
All the Ant-Mans.
I like Ant-Man 1.
Ant-Man 1's pretty good.
Ant-Man's fun. Good heist movie.
I love how just batshit crazy the villain in that movie is. He
Fucking
like
Corey Stoll.
liquefies a goat for like no fucking reason. Like he's just sadistic and weird. Like
And then he becomes fucking what?
Yellow Jackson.
Or yeah, no, after that, in Quantumania.
Oh, he's fucking Modoc. I totally forgot. God, Quantumania sucks, man.
Man, that's a fucking
Fucking
mushroom
F
trip.
tier, so bad.
Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man starts off 21
20, 21,
like in the tier list of like the top.
Oh,
the
yeah.
I put Ant-Man in like middle low. Like I still think it's a Paul Rudd carries those movies,
Hot.
man.
I think I like it better than I like Far From Home.
Yeah, Far From Home.
Home is the worst
just-
Spider-Man.
yeah.
It's not,
Not as
worse
bad
than
as
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Not Amazing
It's
Spider-Man
not
2,
wor-
yeah.
Yeah, no,
But
I was talking
The worst
about,
Tom Holland.
no,
one.
it's Tom Holland, yeah.
Yeah, fucking easily. Because Homecoming's a fucking banger. I'll fight people over
Homecoming's
fucking
awesome.
Homecoming.
The only problem we have with Spider-Man in the MCU and why people give it flack is because Spider-Man never had his own villain. Like,
Yeah. Mysterio's mad at Iron Man. Vulture's mad at Iron Man. The other guys came from other dimensions and are mad at other Peters.
Yeah, he didn't
So
get.
that's the only problem that we have with.
I don't even think it's just that. I think it's also that, like, and this is kind of the point. but he just has it so much easier than the other two guys. Like he literally, it's like I've got a billionaire floating me for all of my equipment. I didn't have to make shit myself except the web fluid. My girlfriend knows my identity. My best friend knows my identity. My aunt knows my identity, and they are all super cool with it. And they are all.
Speaking of Spider-Man,
And I have a happy Hogan.
Speaking of Spider-Man, did you guys watch The Friendly Neighborhood, the cartoon?
He doesn't even have an actual Flash Thompson.
I
His
like
Flash Thompson is like some fucking loser who just makes fun of him and he doesn't care. Like, Flash Thompson's supposed to be giving him swirlies and shoving him in lockers and shit, man. That doesn't
Originally,
work.
Ned Leeds was gonna fucking Sentry guy audition for.
Lewis Pullman, the guy who plays Sentry, he auditioned for Ned. Also, meant to say this earlier, but the role of Sentry was written for and originally casted as Stephen Yeun, who plays Invincible, and he was in The Walking Dead. Asian guy. He's a beast. He's a really good actor. And you can see in the way that Sentry is written how it was written for Stephen Yeun. And how, like, I can just see it. He would have killed it. Guy we got is great. No complaints. But I kind of wish I could have seen Stephen Yeun in the role.
Phil as Stephen as Sentry though. I don't know.
He can pull off that whole, like, awkward, soft-spoken, stuttering kind of thing. Like, it's not... It's kind of his niche, honestly, because that's how he is in The Walking Dead.
I guess that
But
was
this
my
guy,
problem is
Lewis
I'm
Pullman,
such a
definitely
big,
was.
Walking Dead
Like, because
guy.
you want to see some like an innocent looking guy turn into a crazy fucking, also
Yeah.
ex meth head, and he pulled that off.
I think he was super off, especially once he gets into Sentry mode. He does that super off-putting shit really well. But I'm pretty sure this has been going past 2 hours. We added a whole other like 30 minutes there at the end, so I hope you enjoyed that. But we're gonna have to call it a day here. I'm pretty sure. I thoroughly enjoyed this, my fellas.
Yes,
This was awesome.
summer movie season, Marvel.
Oh yeah, and we'll definitely be back sooner rather than later. Don't know if we'll be talking movies or music or whatever next time, but that's always to be determined.
Definitely a top Marvel movie's gonna come out after Fantastic Four.
After Fantastic Four, we are going to have to work on like the communal tier list.
I still
Like,
think Fantastic
'cause I
Four is
have
going to be
my-
the best one out
I have
of the
my
three this year. I have a good.
I have
feeling
my
about it.
personal tier list, but I'm saying we're gonna have to debate this shit and figure out like where things actually go.
And then Superman's going to come by, and we're going to be. Oh, did you guys see the Peacemaker season 2 trailer? By the way,
I have not ever watched Peacemaker.
well, I get that.
so-
DC Marvel.
I never even saw the Suicide Squad, so
good. Peacemaker's
Park
good.
is gonna be one of the best movies this
I hope it's the rebirth. I will see.
I do not like any
It's the third
Jurassic Park
reboot.
movie except for the first one.
Same. I'm with you.
Never should have. Both that and Ghostbusters never should have been
Yeah.
franchises.
Honestly, I agree.
Guess who's coming out in the drive-through around the corner?
What?
Lilo and Stitch in Thunderbolts.
Yeah, we're going.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
taking Shaq's driving.
You guys have fun. You guys.
We're bringing him in the trunk.
And fucking watch that shit.
Well, I
The whole family decked out.
Wake you up when Thunderbolts.
wish
is
y'all
on.
the best.
not
They have
for
not
me.
gotten a cent out of me since 2019. They will not for the foreseeable. They said they're done making this fucking shit. Please don't let Lilo and Stitch make $1 billion so they keep making these fucking things. Please, God, let this flop. Please.
I don't think it's gonna make $1 billion. I think it's gonna be very successful.
Yeah.
No, because Asians love Stitch. It's big in China and big in Japan.
China, it's an anime.
It's a fucking. They've got a Stitch anime. It's gonna make the money, and I'm gonna be mad as fuck. It's gonna be like the fuck. I'm not fucking with you. It's gonna be like the 8th highest grossing movie ever, and I'm gonna be so pissed.
It's gonna be like Minions all over again.
Oh my lord! Wow. Y'all are stitched out
Holy shit.
in stitches,
Holy
in
shit.
proverbial stitches. You know what, man?
Put
We're
that
done.
screenshot.
We're done. Now I'm pissed thinking about Stitch. Ladies and gentlemen, this is To Be Determined. I'm your host, Nick Swisher.
Shaq with a dollar sign, like, subscribe.
Yes, sir. J-Fo.
Thank you, Buck.
Samad Terrell.
Thank you, Buck.
Mozzarella, yes.
When I was a boy.
I was a boy. My paintings.
yes.
Kyle. Full Metal Jacket. Vincent D'Onofrio's
Oh my
first
God,
movie.
he is Private
That
Pyle.
is Private Pyle. That's
Fuck,
oh
that's
my
so
God.
funny. That's your
Right.
last fun fact of the day.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Full Metal
Bye,
Jacket.
everybody.